Man, what a great opportunity you have at your doorstep right now. You are just days away from an NFC championship game. Big Sills here. By the way, our friends from BetUS were powered for the next 4 hours with our friends from BetUS. Please hit the like button. We appreciate it. All likes. We need those in the first 15 minutes. And also our super chats. Guys, do me a favor. Every single one of them that you send to us goes back to the network here, making sure that your show continues to grow. And we appreciate you guys doing that so much. Really a great time of the year, man. Conference championship games this weekend. What a shitty 12-team tournament the NCAA/ESPN and the college football playoff system put on. The committee did not pick the best teams to play in the 12-team tournament. They picked the teams with the best names and with the best records. That's not a metric. Just because you have the best records, ask Minnesota, ask Detroit, that doesn't mean you're going to win a championship. That does not mean that. It has a lot to do with momentum. Heading into a playoff, they can't stop Big Sills flexing. They're trying. Santa Ana, everyone, no way, baby. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. Yeah, man, that college football 12-team playoff was a complete joke. I turned the game off and I went over and watched M. Reyes' favorite network, the Bravo channel. Yeah. Or I went over to watch the cooking channel halfway through that game. Ohio State was the better team by far from the coin toss. I mean, Notre Dame, they're a good story. I like Marcus Freeman. By the way, Joe Theismann, Redskins MVP, will join us at 5:30. We will get his take on Jaden Daniels and the upcoming NFC Championship game from the former Monday Night Football analyst. He will be with us, and former NFL MVP, Joe Theismann, will join us at 5:30. Please hit that like button. So, again, you got a great opportunity here. You're days away from history. You know, you look at Buffalo and Kansas City. What's the storylines there? Mahomes is playing against history. Allen is trying to validate the MVP award this year. And he's trying also to make history. He's trying to get that monkey off his back. Can't win the big one. Hey, man, there's been great athletes in every sport that have that distinction. Didn't win the big one. Barry Bonds, Dan Marino. There's been a lot of great athletes. Charles Barkley, that never won the big one. These guys were bus drivers and not cabooses like Hurts. But you got to win it to validate that legacy. Let's not forget, I've told you this before, John Elway's 2-3 in Super Bowls. If it wasn't for Terrell Davis, Elway would be in that room too. Elway was hey, you want to hear something that's going to make you guys feel a lot better? John Elway was the caboose in his Super Bowls. Elway was the caboose. Terrell Davis was the workhorse on that football team. John Elway didn't lead those Bronco teams to the Super Bowl. Terrell Davis did. Alex Gibbs and that zone blocking O-line they had. John Elway was 0-3 in Super Bowl play. 0-3. Then they got Terrell Davis and they got an O-line. Hello, you got Barkley and an O-line, and they went on to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Actually, if they weren't upset by the Jags one year with the home field advantage, they may have won 3 in a row. O-line and Terrell Davis was the reason He was the caboose. I mean, a great running game and a great O-line can carry you so far. The question is, can the quarterback make the play? And John Elway in those Super Bowls made some significant plays that they needed to have in the passing game. That's what you're facing on Sunday versus the Commanders. This is going to be a completely different Commanders team than you've played in the last two games. If I were you, I'd stop that stupid shit where you guys are saying, well, we've seen them all. That's dumb. They're not the same team. Because last year, the Bucs, you did that to, and they beat the shit out of you. Well, we lost AJ. One player makes you look like that? Where's your quarterback? One player can't take you down like that if you're a great team. Look at what Vic has done on the defensive side of the football. This guy loses players. That defense never falls off. He never falls off. By the way, the coordinator spoke. We'll hit on what the coordinator spoke of. Vic and Kellen. No question about it, man. One player can't take you down. Or shouldn't be able to, in my opinion. Please hit the like button. You guys are great. I appreciate it. Okay? Get this. You're a very vanilla football team right now, which is okay. Jahan Dotson is the lead, Sills, not the caboose. Jahan Dotson. The guy in Washington that you cut is better than Jahan Dotson. He's better. Okay? Hey, face who you are. Just face it. You are a fist-punching football team that no one has been able to take your punch. You are the best knockout artist in football right now. I'd rather be that than a jabber and a guy that goes and wants to go the distance. I'm looking to knock your ass out right away. This is a football game, dude. I'm not looking to hang around for 12 rounds. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to knock your ass out now. And that's what the Eagles have with that O-line. If we win the bowl, Vic Fangio, best DC in Eagles history, better than Jim Schwartz. Yeah, because he ended up having the number one overall ranked defense. And I would make this point to you. Guys, help me out, historians of the Eagles. Isn't there more homegrown kids on this unit than were on that 17 unit? Or am I wrong? Is there more homegrown kids on this team than what were on that 17 team? Wasn't that defense littered with mercenaries and guys that you got off different rosters? I'm always going to lean on homegrown. Like Gang Green. I'm always going to lean on that. When people talk about the best teams of all time, that means drafting went into it. Player development went into it. Did they get to their second contract? Were they good picks by the organization? Down draft, not just in the first round. I'm always going to lean that way. I'd rather have homegrown kids who grew up in the organization than mercenaries. Why? A mercenary's not really caring about the scheme, what have you. He's more concerned about his career and how he's playing, not about the guys he came into the sport with. You get more of a sense of a team when you have guys. Tony Dungy told me this years ago. He goes, look, man, you try to build your championship team through the draft, and then what you do in free agency, those are gap fillers, guys that you might have missed in the draft. You don't want to build your entire football team on free agents. Okay, so that 17 team to me, albeit great, and they all came together. The 2024 team, in my opinion, these were all homegrown people. You know, when you're in high school, and you've got kids that you are able to develop from the time they were freshmen until the time you were seniors, You build the better chemistry that way because you all have gone through the growing pains of being successful. My daughter played, as I told you guys numerous times, rugby, right? First year she had at her college, they were terrible. The final year, they're playing for the national championship. And it was a togetherness of building the program. That's kind of what you got with these guys, with the Eagles. A lot of guys were drafted together, and they were building the chemistry and continuity. That's why I would probably lean on the 24 team if they close it out. Okay? You want that in your unit, and you want that in your organization. That's why a lot of places want to elevate coordinators from within. Why? You're keeping continuity. The worst thing you can do for any program, college, high school, no matter what it is, when a coach leaves a place, go outside of the organization and bring somebody else new in. You know why? They don't know the players' likes and weaknesses. They don't know what struggles they've been to get where they are. Everybody has to reprove themselves again. I'd rather elevate from within. You elevate from within the players. It's the least amount of resistance that gives you the best formula for success. If you put all these speed bumps in front of players, they're going to trip over them. Don't put speed bumps in front of players. Eliminate them. How do you do that? With continuity, cohesiveness, knowing the players, having relationships with them. That's why the Eagles are where they are, especially on the defensive side with Vic. They got great teachers. Those aren't coaches. Dude, a great coach is a teacher. A shitty coach is a coach who tells you to line up and the guy doesn't even know what the hell you're talking about because you didn't teach him. There's a chemistry to teaching. Okay? First you're a teacher, then you're the coach. Point A to B, C. That's what Vic Fangio's doing with that unit. That's why when they dropped Oren Burks in there on Sunday, there was no drop-off. Why? Because that kid was prepared to take over for Nakobe Dean. Because he was taught. Then they you coach in games. You teach during the week. That's the formula on being a great coach. You are teaching all week long. Sunday's the time to coach. You know, you hear coaches making this up all the time. Got to win this game. Saban's right, dude. Work on your formula. Your formula is going to take you to the wins. Okay? It's going to take you to the wins. Hit the like button. I appreciate everybody coming here. Supers go to the top. All right. We're going to hit on a lot of stuff here. And I want to start it out with this. And you tell me how you read this or how you hear this about Jalen Hurts. This was Nick Saban on the Pat McAfee show. I think he's doing things they need to do to win. This is on the McAfee show. They're a running football team. So get this. This is a running football team. There is really only one reason to worry about the Commanders. That is Jaden Daniels. They are also missing Kosmia for this game. Big loss, absolutely. The offensive lineman he's talking about. It's a huge loss. Huge loss. They're a running team. That's what Philadelphia is. They run it. Jalen can run. Made a big play in the game on Sunday night. And you've got to defend it. Kind of what we've been saying. Then you've got to be able to throw the ball effectively enough in play action. And I think Jalen is a good enough passer to do those things. That's not really a ringing endorsement. And Xander gave me a little bit more of what he was saying that in practice, they would not allow him to run. They wanted to develop him from the pocket. Jalen Hurts, since Alabama, has not developed pocket presence. The sacks are the telltale sign that he has not evolved as a pocket passer since Alabama. Plain and simple. Your passing game is never going to be any better than what it is right now. He is not going to get better. This is what it is. And when you have the dual threat ability, if Jalen Hurts can't run the ball, he is an ineffective NFL quarterback. Plain and simple. If you took his legs away, he's not an NFL quarterback. If you took Josh Allen's legs away, he is. That is the difference. That's the clear difference in the two. Okay? This is Nick Saban saying this. How about that Buckeye Sills? Ohio. I didn't think it was going to be a close game, and it really wasn't. Thank you, Anthony. Ohio State's got tremendous talent. Still, I would say this to you. That's got to feel like an asterisk national title to the Buckeye players. I'm sorry. If I won a national title and the Gators beat the shit out of me, and I was a 21-point favorite to win the game, and I got beat, and every senior on my team has never beaten Michigan, I don't know how I'd feel about that national title ring. I might not wear that. I might not wear that ring. I don't know. I never beat Michigan in my 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love the kid Sawyer too. I think he's going to be a great one. But at the end of the day, man, not one player on Ohio State who played there the last 4 years has ever beaten Michigan. You win the national title? I don't know how I'd feel about that. I mean, you know, somebody asked me, if I won a national championship and Florida beat me or Florida State, I'd be like, shit. I don't know. No, we the champs, Sills. Fuck off. I don't know, man. Okay? Seriously, man. Not one player on the Ohio State team that's a senior beat Michigan ever. Hey, Sills, you had me fired up when you declared yourself part of the Eagle family. Go Birds. Zay, thank you. Hey, man. I love you guys, man. I love the fans. You're right. Michigan lost things. I mean, look, I think it's awesome that they went through the tournament and won the national title. Love to have the ring. Would I wear it? I don't know. How about this? So Michigan guys get to do this. They won the national championship, but not one senior from that team beat us ever in their 4 years. Holy shit, I don't know if I could go 4 years at Miami knowing that the Florida Gators, I'd never beat them, or the FSU, I never beat them. That would be a problem. That would be a problem for me. 4 years, I never beat them? I don't think so. Speed bumps. Who knew a rookie JD would play as he did in the championship game? No, I knew saying that player can't be a speed bump injury if not 85 to 90%. Then Pickett or T. Hill has a better option. Pickett with broken ribs or T. Hill, full 17. T-Bone. A lot of jargon there, and I think I got what you're saying. But Jaden Daniels is a speed bump. Don't put any speed bumps in front of that dude. Okay? Don't put any speed bumps in front of that kid. And I don't think really Cliff Kingsbury has. So what do you make of that comment that Nick Saban says that Jalen is a good enough passer? We all agree now. Even the greatest college coach who had him replaced him. and made the comment that he's a good enough passer. He's just not a good enough passer to win a championship for us. And they replaced him. And by the way, Alabama got better. Alabama got better when they replaced him. And they still won more. They replaced Jalen, if I'm not mistaken, Xander, when he was 26-2 and had played in a championship game. 26-2. They replaced him. Thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Okay? What do you make of that? He has the same, get this, Saban has the same opinion of Hurts today than he did when he was at Alabama. Am I right? It's the same opinion. He's a very athletic guy, and he's an okay passer. He's a good enough passer. I don't think good enough is something where the Eagles want to be when you have that kind of skill set at the wide receiver position. You have a good enough passer and that kind of talent. Everything I told you, Nick Saban just echoed it. When you want to have a little bit better of a passer to get it to those targets that you paid for? Or are you okay with the current system the way it's constructed now? You're 16-3, but this is not the way that the team was built. What do you mean drama? This guy says drama. What are you talking about? There's no drama here. I'm talking about what Nick Saban said. He said this yesterday. Jalen is a bum worst quarterback in the NFL playoffs. Or winning in spite of him, not because of him. Completely true. So, I mean, dude, this is not, what drama? Get this, gossip? It's not gossip. Nick Saban said it. That's not gossip. Those were his words. And I quote, taken from the McAfee show, I think he's doing the things they need to win. Hurts' coach at Alabama, Nick Saban, said during an appearance on ESPN's Pat McAfee, this is not drama and this is not gossip. There's a run. They are a running football team. That's what the Eagles are. They've got Saquon and they're going to run it. Jalen can run it as well. Made a big play in the run game last night. So you've got to make people defend that. No question. I've said that. He's an elite runner. And then you've got to throw effectively enough in a play action game. And I think Jalen is a good enough passer to do it. He's a good enough passer. He's not an elite passer. Quote, Nick Saban. Not gossip. Quotes. Like Jeff McClain would say to my bosses. Quotes. If birds lose, show Kellen and Jalen the door together. Get right the OC and tame the Mormon missile. Absolutely. Super Bowl or bust. Coaches should have wisdom, not youth. Here, I'll tell you something. Again, Tanner's not ready. Frank Reich is a drop back OC. And you're not getting rid of Jalen Hurts. He's got a no-trade clause. You're stuck with this guy. So you need to develop him the best you possibly can. But the key is this. Your expectations are too high on him as a passer. Your expectations should be more loftier in his running ability, not his passing ability, because that's where he's thrived in Philly. He has made more impact plays with the run game. Okay? By the way, it's always great when new content comes in. And new content was Saban yesterday. This is not me repeating. This is Saban. Nick Saban. Saying exactly what I've said. He's an electric runner, and he's an average quarterback throwing the ball. And that's been the case this year. The problem that you have, again, are you going to be able to make a play in these next two games? Because these next 8 quarters are going to be the toughest quarters of the year. Because you know why? They're championship quarters. Every play matters. Every minute matters. Every yard matters. Every sack matters. Everything right now will be magnified because as the sand comes out of the dial, there's less time. You don't have chances to make mistakes up. TBF didn't Jalen get them to the championship. Yes, he's not a good passer, which is why we have our answer here with Barkley. Just do what it takes to win. Hey, absolutely, I agree. Last 2 years, the fans wanted us to be a run team. We lost 22 and collapsed in 23 because Jalen isn't good enough to carry the team with his arm. We finally have an elite running back. All Jalen has to do is be average. Yes, sir. And by the way, I love that. And to Xander's point, by the way, Theismann will join us at 5:30, the NFL MVP. And also, Xander will join us at 3:30. Guys, there is no doubt this is one of the greatest constructed football teams I've ever seen. And I'll tell you why. I can't remember a playoff team that is favored to win the Super Bowl that the quarterback doesn't have to be elite. It doesn't have to be special. Nick Foles is not an elite quarterback. But in 17, he was special. Right? He was special. He had a special run. That was special. He wasn't elite. He showed signs of being elite. But he had a special moment. Conference championship game, the NFC championship, and then obviously the Super Bowl against Brady. That's a special moment in NFL history. He was never elite. Maybe the 26 TDs and 2 picks. Maybe you can throw that out there and say, Sills, that year he was elite. He made the Pro Bowl. I got it. 26 TDs, 2 picks. That's a crazy great season. To me, he's always been kind of an outlier in how you look at him. I think Nick Foles had the unfortunate time of just being coached by shitty people outside of being coached by good people in Philly. Every other place he was coached by shitty people. So I never really understood Nick Foles. Okay? In Philly, he was special. God knows what he would have looked like in this offense with these talents. The way he is as athletic as it gets. Remember, this guy played basketball at Arizona. This guy was one of the most gifted athletes for his high school class that went into college. He was a gifted athlete. Okay? He was a very gifted athlete. Sometimes guys just need to land in places to be coached right. Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Chicago, all places you go to die if you're a quarterback. You know? All places you go just to die. None of those places have had decent development in quarterbacks. Indianapolis, outside of Andrew Luck. The rest of it, and Peyton, obviously, but look at what they've gone through these last 5-6 years since Luck. Hey, my point here is, this is not really a rip. This is more finally coming to the conclusion of where your quarterback and who he is. You know, as an Eagle fan, the Cowboys situation is so funny. There is no situation. They don't have a plan. Here's where I'm at with this right now. Embrace, give it to me. You're 16-3, right? You need to come to the conclusion that your quarterback is doing every single thing and has accepted it on the things that it takes to win. That's it. He's not ever going to be exceptional in the pass game. But what he's going to do is he's going to go along with what the system is. Troy Aikman did that and won 3 Super Bowls. You would never put Aikman in the conversation of quarterback that if I had 60 minutes and everything was equal on both sides, Aikman's not in my top 20. And I love Troy, but Aikman wouldn't be in my top 20. He had Michael Irvin and he had Emmitt Smith and arguably the best O-line in NFL history. I don't know. Hand the ball off. Throw it on third down. Troy Aikman and Jalen Hurts have a lot of similarities. You're asked to do one thing. High percentage slants and hand the ball off. The difference here is, though, that Jalen can make plays in the run game. So if you're okay with Troy Aikman as your quarterback, why shouldn't everybody else? Right? It's not a rip. Comparing him to Troy Aikman, who has 3 rings. Unknowns and tangibles. Jaden Daniels here, until he played. No, I knew the Washington Commanders division game. Who knew? So let it turn around. Hurts is unable to play. Who's a better choice? Broken ribs, Pickett, or T. Hill? Who knew the title game played? I choose T. Hill. Okay. All right. Sure, T-Bone. Jaden Daniels is absolutely a great player. And I'm assuming you mean Tanner McKee. Okay? That's who I'm assuming you mean, T-Bone. Guys, hit the like button here. Dude, I just compared Jalen Hurts to Troy Aikman. Oh, Tyson Hill. Tyson Hurts. Now, Jalen's better than Tyson Hill. He's better than Tyson. Okay? Thanks, T-Bone. Everybody, please. Supers go to the top. Please hit the like button here. Troy Aikman. Hand the ball off. Throw the slant. You don't have to really throw a lot of yards. If you look at Aikman, what did Aikman throw for 3,600 yards? Or hey, if you're okay with Trent Dilfer, guys like that, you win a Super Bowl. The one thing that you'll never have is that Hurts will never be in the – Hurts might win 2 Super Bowls playing this way. If they're able to close it out this year, God knows what they can do by running the ball. He might end up making himself like Aikman, get to the Hall of Fame. Aikman, based off of his ability to play, would never be considered a Hall of Fame player. But he was in a Hall of Fame system with a Hall of Fame back who had 19,000 yards rushing. Okay? Tyson. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate it. Hey, sorry, Joseph. I don't have my dual threat manual out right now. Hit that like button. So, Nick Saban, as long as he... Now, wait a minute. Doesn't this go back to Kellen Moore designing this? On exactly what... Is it Kellen Moore? Didn't he do the right thing here? Well, Hurts is never going to be a passer that's going to lead this team. He basically he had more and did more counter to what the Eagles did by building the team than what Vic Fangio did. He looked at the front office and all the player personnel people and said, we're not going to use the wide receivers except in the run game. We're just not. We're going to use the 2 best things that are on our offense, the O-line and the running back and the quarterback in the run game. And that's what you are. Okay? Dude, you're 16-3. Nobody's shitting on it. Seals, you're an acquired taste. Absolutely true, my friend. You will never like my show out of the gate. You will never. You know why? I'm in your face. I put a bullseye on my chest every day because I do one thing that no one else does. You know what that is? I have a fucking opinion, and I stick to it until someone proves me otherwise wrong. And I don't deviate off that bitch. But when I do, I'll tell you, the guy proved me wrong. Barkley was more of an impact than I thought, for sure. You're keeping it real. Absolutely. If Hurts can't run with his knee, then he can't play. We can't have him back there as a statue. It's going to take sacks, my friend. Take you out of field position. If he can move, and he's good to go. Xander, I missed the super here. Thank you very much, my friend. And that's exactly the truth. Everything you said there. What type of day does Jalen need to do to win on Sunday? 140 yards passing. You know, every time I say that to Xander, he laughs. Every time, it's every week. That's what it is. 140 yards passing, 45 to 50 yards rushing, and Barkley go for 165 and no turnovers. You beat him. A couple TDs out of that for Hurts, too, and then 2 for Barkley. I mean, dude, you beat him 28. You put 28 points on the board. I mean, look at the scoreboard. Hurts needs that quarterback coach Allen got. Chris Hess. I don't think coach is going to help this. Dude, don't worry about it right now. Worry about it in the offseason because they will worry about it in the offseason. And so will A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown being on the field is also essential in the run game. You have to defend that out wide. You put Dotson out there, I don't give a shit about Dotson. You put A.J. out there, I've got to defend that. Sorry, yeah, man, I meant Tanner. Anyone can play, hand the ball off. Hurts is dangerous with his legs. But Pickett and Tanner are good or better passers than Hurts, in my opinion. They are, T. But that doesn't mean they know situational playing like Jalen does. Jalen's seen a lot of football, dude. Can't take experience away. If you ever heard me say, take Hurts out and start someone else, absolutely never would I say that. I have never said that, and I would never say that. That ship has sailed. You gave him the contract with the no trade. 175-yard passing, 2 TDs, and 50 yards rushing and 1 TD. That would be a big game for him. Not to get ahead, but if we make it to the Super Bowl, this team could be the answer versus Kansas City. Every quarterback except Brady can't beat Mahomes in a duel. This running game can keep him off the field and beat him and beat time, not Pat. Beat time, not Pat. Right, beat the clock. Xander, I missed the super. Hey, you guys are firing these supers off, and I love it. Thank you very much. Please put the supers up there for us, Xander. Thank you, guys. Here goes my boy Pumper. Motherfucker can't run, can't throw, can't read, can't unite a knot, can't untie a knot. Holy crap. What can he do? I bet Buddy can't even cook ramen noodles. How you doing? I like ramen noodles. Yeah. Dude, we're beyond evaluating now. I thought it was an interesting comment that Nick Saban said. Nick Saban's opinion of Jalen Hurts hasn't changed. Sandra, what was Hurts' last year at Alabama? What was his last year at Alabama before he transferred to Oklahoma? Does anyone know what his last season was? By the way, guys, please hit the like button. What was his last year that he had as a player with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And then you'll know. Okay, Kyle says 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. In 7 years, Nick Saban has the same opinion of Jalen Hurts today as he did 7 years ago. What does that tell you? And look at the coaching he's had. He's had one NFL head coach in Shane Steichen. He's had another in Nick Sirianni. He potentially has another in Kellen Moore, and he hasn't gotten better. And you think somehow magically he's going to get better as a passer because you bring another fucking coordinator in? Aren't you tired of that? You think if we win this Super Bowl, Hurts will stay for the rest of his career? Why would you leave? The friendly confines of somebody building a roster like that around you with an owner that spends the money and gives the players the money up front, I would never leave that. With the amount of winning, why in the world would you want to go somewhere else? To beat Dak? Why would Hurts want to leave that? It'd be like, dude, he was forced to leave Alabama. He didn't want to leave Alabama. Am I right, Xander? Hurts didn't want to leave Alabama. He was forced to leave. If he wanted to be a player, he had to leave. You know why? He wasn't good enough to play there. Think about that. He wasn't good enough. And you know what? Some will turn around and go, well, Stills, Joe Burrow did leave Ohio State for LSU. Wasn't he forced out too? Yeah, but Justin Fields turned out to be nothing. He was horse shit in the NFL. Tua led the NFL in passing yards last year and won a national title there. Tua's issues are health. He's a decent quarterback. His issues are health. It's not ability. It's availability. I played green since birth, 62. I don't feel good at all about this game. Potential for a blowout loss. JD's deep ball and Slay's IQ have had issues. Rams. You're talking about Q too. No Slay, Q. Q's going to play. Jaden Daniels, we're going to talk about him here in a minute. Okay? Look at them race. Where's Tua now? What's that got to do with a better player? Your team is Jalen Hurts is a caboose. And he's the right caboose on the train. Doesn't upset anything and makes the plays and doesn't bitch about his role. The key to Hurts is bitching about the role. He doesn't. Okay? He doesn't. Just a Christian shout out, Big Sills. Grandmaster Z. Love and peace, my brother. Why do fans care about how we win this? Great question. Picking how to win turns into Seattle in 15. These opportunities don't come often. Do whatever it takes for the ring. That's what they're doing right now, Anthony. Anthony, that is exactly what they are doing. They're going with what they have right now. Okay? Absolutely. Dude, a lot of people do bitch about process and don't understand results. I get it. You're 16-3. This is not what your team is going to look like. They're going to rip that apart if it doesn't win the Super Bowl. If it wins it, they're going to have a tough decision. Jesus, we won the Super Bowl this way, but we're paying all this money for this, and we want it to be a passing team, but we're not a passing team. You built a passing team, not a run team. And I'll make this point to you. I don't really think they're that great in pass protection with that quarterback in the huddle. he runs into too many sacks, and they don't know where he is in the pocket. It's either the O-line's not very good or the quarterback has no pocket presence or both. You have 45 sacks in 16 ball games. Something is not right in the pass game. Do you think Vic, seeing JD5 a third time, helps us? I think actually, Trey, him seeing what is going to come at him, I think it helps Jaden Daniels more. Jaden Daniels had never seen a coordinator like Vic Fangio ever. And hadn't he gotten better in each game he played? He wasn't really great in that game. They were kind of still close for a little bit. In the second game, he was sensational. And in the third game, he's going to be better. He is well coached. Brian Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, and how about this? Dan Quinn on the other side going, here's what Vic's going to do. Vic's going to throw too high safety, but then post-snap, he's going to change coverages on you. Make sure you're cognizant of the fact that he's going to have rotating coverages on you post-snap. And if I were you, what I would do is the key for him, and every young quarterback does this, every quarterback will get down to 5 seconds with the play clock. That favors the defense with young quarterbacks. Okay, why? Because the defense can move to their coverage before the ball is snapped. If I were him, I'd snap that ball early in the snap count so that they can't get to it as quick as it would be. The more you let that time clock go down, and if you go back and watch the last Commander game, that's exactly what he did. He got the ball off early in the snap count, especially against the Bucs, because you know why? He knew Todd Bowles was going to do exactly what I said. And he got the ball off with a 25-second play clock. Getting those plays in are going to be essential for the Commanders. Don't get down to 5 seconds. It favors the defense. Then they can post-snap you in coverage. It's a tough thing for a young player. You know how many 3-and-outs no defense can guard? Hey, man, 3-and-outs. It's what are the key comments to defenses. Getting those 3-and-outs. Absolutely. Hit the like button, guys, please. Supers go to the top. You guys have been absolutely great. Joe Theismann will join us at 5:30. Okay, so they're coaching him well. Hurts is a spread option, air raid quarterback. Why are you comparing him to the same credentials as Peyton Manning? Look at Jaden Daniels. He's a spread option with 260 completions. Not a very good one. In what areas does Hurts need to improve to win championships and Super Bowls consistently? He's doing it. No turnovers. What does our window look like with Hurts considering his I think your window is where that O-line is. And with the development of the defense, and you may have a coordinator that's going to be around for 4 or 5 years. That's your window. And God forbid, man, those players continue to get better on defense. You got them on rookie contracts. Carter's on a rookie contract. You still got Davis on a rookie contract. You've got Dean on a rookie contract. You've got Q on a rookie contract. You've got Cooper DeJean on a rookie contract. You've got Nolan Smith. If those guys continue to play and pan out, that defense will look like Seattle's defense of the Legion of Boom with all those young players that you had. That is, in my opinion, that's the key to continuing to play the right side of the ball, which is the offensive side of the ball. Jaden Daniels is light years better than Jalen Hurts. Facts. Jaden is Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson, and Jalen is Tito. Yeah. Tito's the bass. Wait a minute. Tito's the bass guitar player, and Jaden is Michael Jackson. All right. I like the Jackson 5 reference. How can Vic counter Jaden and get the snap off quick? listen, like I said, if you're a coordinator, what you want to do is, and Jonathan Vilma will tell you, the key to defending Peyton Manning was never going. Remember that bunch lineup that the Ravens and the Saints would do? They would sit there in the middle and they would wait and get down to 5 seconds. And why? Because then the quarterback has to set the old line. Set! Then you go to your positions. It's too late for him to make an audible. It's too late for audibles. Sills, I think Carter can be Reggie on Sunday. No. Jerome, yes. He's nowhere in Reggie's league yet. Nowhere in Reggie's league. Not yet. Dude, Reggie White single-handedly destroyed teams on every single play he played. Turn the film on, and then watch this. Guys, when you make the comparison to Jalen Carter and Reggie White, do me a favor. Just take any old game that Reggie played and then come back and go, you're right, Sills. Long way to go. Now you're talking about the greatest who ever played with his hand in the dirt. Okay? Reggie White's the greatest player with his hand in the dirt that's ever played. So when you come back and go, wow, you're right. Okay. He's a really good player, but he's not that. There's guys that God left their hand on their shoulder just a little longer. Him and Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice, those guys, the Lord just kept the hand on the shoulder a little longer. And you just sit there and go, Bo Jackson, Dion. There's guys like that. God said, no, a little more for you. And that's what those guys were. Okay, I mean, Aaron Donald is a really good football player. Reggie White, I don't think so. How do we help Hurts to get the ball out quicker? Quick rhythm. I think he plays better with up-tempo. I think he's better in up-tempo. When they go fast tempo, what does that do? It stops personnel changes and substitutions, especially when you want to go to nickel. And you keep the other team and you gas the other team and the defensive guys by running stretch plays and up-tempo. I think he's better in up-tempo. Okay? I think he's more comfortable in up-tempo. By the way, Jalen Carter's 22. Reggie White had 20 sacks when he was 22. Okay, guys, I mean, there's no disrespect, but don't ever call Jalen Carter Reggie White. I mean, he's a great young talent. I said he would be a great young talent. Okay? I said it before you even drafted him, that he would be a great young talent. But when you're talking about Reggie White, I mean, remember something else. Reggie White had the ability to play in the USFL, and I'll take that back. Reggie didn't have 22 sacks his first year, and he was 24 because he had played in the USFL. But Reggie's first years, 13, 18, 21, 18, 11, 14, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 16. Guys, you're talking about one of the absolute greatest sack people and defensive lineman that's ever played the game. My Uncle Byron Evans used to show me tapes on that gangrene defense he played on. Love Carter, but no one comes close to Reggie. Nobody comes close today or ever to Reggie White as a defensive lineman. He is the greatest D lineman, in my opinion, of all time. Sills, who is the Eagles' Mount Rushmore on defense? Reggie, Bednarik, Brian Dawkins. Maybe Fletcher. And I'll just go, Bednarik, Reggie, Brian Dawkins. Fourth one's debatable. Probably Fletcher. Jaden wouldn't be Jaden without Cliff. Kellen doesn't know what to do with Hurts. It's simple. Yes, he does know what to do with Hurts. You're 16-3. The one thing he does know is what to do with Hurts. Wait, what do you mean he doesn't know what to do with Hurts? You're in the NFC Championship game. How doesn't he know what to do with Hurts? Okay? How does he not know what to do? I don't think Brandon Graham is a better player than Fletcher Cox. Sorry, I do not. He may be more loved by Eagle fans, but he's not a better player than Fletcher. Fletcher is an NFL Hall of Fame knocking on the door guy. Brandon Graham is not. Okay, he's not. But Fletcher is. Eric Allen could be in that conversation. Eric Allen could be. Okay? Potentially. I heard that too, that Brandon Graham may be thinking of trying to give it a go for the Super Bowl. Yeah, maybe potentially. Potentially. Here's Senor. Senor, sorry, man. I mean, have you been in here? I haven't seen you, brother. Thanks for staying in here, man, with us. I don't see creativity in the passing game. You're not going to. The quarterback is not creative. Like the run game. Go watch Washington. He's not Jaden Daniels. Senor, you're making it seem like they're going to reinvent the wheel with him. They're not. You're not going to elevate his passing game. He's the same guy he's been in 7 years. That's Saban's saying comments. But you're 16-3. What do you care? Who are your top 5 Eagle running backs? Well, Saquon Barkley's hard because Saquon Barkley has had the greatest year in Eagle history. That doesn't make a career. Saquon Barkley's not one of the 5 greatest Eagle running backs of all time. 1 year. So that means T.O.'s the greatest. Would you put T.O. in the top 4 wide receivers of all time in Eagle history? Played 1 year? Would you? Then T.O. gets that same distinction, yes? So then T.O. is one of the greatest wide receivers, probably the greatest to ever play, right? Okay. If you want to do that, then put Barkley in there. But 1 year doesn't make a career in the Eagles. I mean, it just doesn't. Nick Foles is not one of the greatest quarterbacks in Eagle history. But he had a great Super Bowl. He's not one of the top 3. There's no legacy there outside of 1 season. 2. The 26-2 is still great. Okay? I thought Becton was special in that game against the Rams. I thought he mowed people over, and I thought he made himself well-known. And I thought he played the best of any old lineman in that game against the Rams. I thought he picked guys up and threw them into snowdrifts. Okay? I did. I thought he was special. Becton, Carter, Bond, Burks, Slay, Smith, Barkley. These guys were special. Guys, give me a total on our likes right now. Please hit the like button. Appreciate it, man. Real great. Yeah, no, I mean, Mike Quick's probably had the greatest career of any wide receiver in Eagle history. Okay? But AJ's catching. AJ's catching up. Okay, he plays 2 more years. Probably going to make the comment that the best receiver, the best career for an Eagle. See, there's 2 different conversations. Who's had the greatest year in Eagle history for running? Saquon Barkley. Who's had the greatest running back career? Shady McCoy. I have no problem saying that because that's the facts. McCoy did it longer. You guys dispel career for 1 year wonders. I don't, that's not a career. When people go who the greatest Eagle is, you got to look at longevity and impact during that time. Reggie's the greatest Eagle that will ever live. No one will catch him. Nobody. I don't care how many Super Bowls you have. That guy's the greatest player to ever play, and he didn't have the ball in his hand. That's what makes him special. Okay? He's a special player. Okay? Sills, does Vic have a good record when he needs to make a quarterback spy and have a quarterback spy? You're going to keep a guy like Louvu or Bobby Wagner to make sure that he doesn't break contain. Well, I think we should talk about the coordinators now. So let's go over to the coordinators. They spoke today. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button, okay? Get this. Look at this guy. Carter gets 2 rings, it's over. So if you think if Jalen Carter gets 2 Super Bowl rings, he's a better football player than Reggie White, that's fucking stupid. Nobody in their right mind would say that. Nobody. He's not remotely close to him as a player. It's not remotely close. It will never be remotely close. Never. In a million years. Jalen Carter's not a Hall of Fame player. Reggie White was a Hall of Fame player after his 5th year in the league. If Carter gets 2 rings, it's debatable. Really. So you're trying to tell me now you're thinking that Fletcher Cox is a better defensive lineman than Reggie White because he's got a Super Bowl ring? Is fucking preposterous. I mean, do you fucking people watch football? I mean, you show your ignorance when you make a comment like that. I'll be going to some of you less with comments like that because it's insulting. Reggie's the GOAT. Dude, I don't give a shit what. Hey, if you guys are just now saying he's in his 2nd year, then you should shut the fuck up about comparing him to Reggie. Because right now in his first 2 years, he's nowhere near Reggie's first 2 years. Reggie got 27 sacks in 2 years, I think. No, he had 31. Reggie White had 31 sacks in 2 years. 31 sacks from a defensive tackle position. 31. You might want to pump the brakes on that. Okay? Dude, there's Reggie, and then there's everyone else. Why are you debating this? Okay? Sills, I said 20 rings. Oh, okay. Hey, 20 rings? You okay? You got me on that one. Hey, Samuel, if he gets 20 rings, yes, sir. Then it's truly debatable. If he gets 20 rings, got me. Yeah, you totally got me. Yep. Seals Vic's credit for in-game feel and teaching players is well-deserved. Absolutely, man. Kellen Moore doesn't have that. Kellen Moore works with Jalen Hurts' limitations. He'll know it. Kellen Moore did a good job next season if he's here still. Here, let me say this too. I think Kellen Moore has done a fabulous job with the limitations that you want to hear something crazy? I think Kellen Moore had more limitations to work with than what Vic did. Vic had more unknowns. Would this be fair with the 2 coordinators? Kellen Moore has more limitations because of the passing game, because of the quarterback. Vic had more unknowns when he went into this. He didn't know anything about what Zach Bond was going to do. He didn't know anything about if Nolan Smith could pick his game up. He had no idea if Q was going to be able to matriculate his game from the college level into the NFL level. By the way, I'll tell you one more time. I think those practices that they had with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown did more to prep him for this football season than anybody's giving credit to. You could sit here and go on a chalkboard and teach a kid where to line up, what to do, taking a look at situations. When you got A.J. Brown out there in practice schooling your ass and teaching you what a wide receiver is trying to accomplish with a turn-in or with a wheel route, and then you got the same going on with Devontae, you can't get a better education than having somebody do this. Let me tell you a little more here. So I had a chance, Bob, you'll know this name. I had a chance to practice against Mike Munchak, the Penn State great offensive lineman that is now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and turned out to be a pretty damn good O-line coach. Well, he was showing me techniques on O-linemen, how they're trying to get to points on your shoulder pads and how they're going flat step, deep step, how they're trying to get up to the second level and scoop and slip, and how they're trying to do zone blocking, what have you. I never in my entire life was taught more by my D-line coaches, and I was coached by some of the best of all time. And I have never in my life had more teaching by one guy inside of an hour and a half than with Mike Munchak and what he taught me. Trying that, anytime the guy takes a flat step, what's he trying to do? He's trying to slip and scoop up on you onto the linebacker. So what do? You could play on his backside, push him down the line of scrimmage. Don't let him slip and scoop and get up. You don't have to get your head front side. Run around the block now and then like Jerome used to, like Carter's doing. By the way, I talked to Clint Hurd about that. They're teaching him to do this. So when he runs around a couple blocks, they're telling him to do that. That keeps the old line guard in the center honest. He goes, "You spotted that, huh?" I go, "Yeah, I see it." Now, Jerome did that. He goes, he has to turn to the linebacker and tell him what he's doing for it to be successful. That's what they're doing. And I think it's a great technique. Okay? You don't want to let the offensive guard know you're predictable. You want to be unpredictable. You'll run around the block. Can't run around a mall, but you can run around a block. Fair to say Vic is better teacher than Kellen? Yes. No, I don't know. Kellen Moore has taken the offensive skill set and he has elevated it. Last year, they tried the passing game and they tried to elevate the passing game and they couldn't because the quarterback. This year, they decided to go with the run game and they're solely a run team with a couple slants. And by the way, I want you to understand, and I'm saying it again, Jalen Hurts is essential in this run game. Saquon Barkley does not have 2,000 yards rushing if Jalen Hurts is not on that team. He does not. He's about 1,600 yards, 15. I don't fear Saquon Barkley like that. I fear Saquon Barkley and Hurts like that. Dude, you saw it this last game against the Rams. 2+ 30-yard runs by both guys. You can't fucking ask for more of a nightmare for a coordinator to get two different dudes with plus 30-yard rushes to the end zone. No way. That's unheard of. Two dudes doing it, and one of them's your quarterback. I can't tell you his impact and how big it is on the offense. That's why when you guys are talking about Tanner McKee doesn't offer you an explosive play. Hurts does. It's just not in the pass game. And I think that's kind of what Nick was saying. Okay? I mean, he's not going to get better as a passer. The Eagles are going to have to make some tough decisions, especially if they win it. If they win it, then they're going to have to look like this. Dude, you can't get schwimpy wide receivers in there. You got to get big dudes in there because people are going to be blocking in the run game. It is going to be essential moving forward after Barkley. Once Barkley's tires and his treads are down, how are you replacing that? You can't replace him with a college back. I think you've got to go in free agency and you got to hope one of these Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henrys, and Saquon Barkley. Hey, do I think Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry could do the same shit that Barkley did? Yeah, I do. Derrick Henry had $2,000 himself. He had 1940 or some shit. He would have done it too. I mean, he would have ran for the same amount of yards. He ran that way with a lesser line in Baltimore. Okay? I mean, facts are he had 1940. Barkley only outrushed him by 85 yards. Look, he said, but that's not his deal. In like 15 or 16 ball games, he almost had $2,000. Would have done the same shit. The key is that old line. And I'll say it again. Vic Fangio had unknowns. Kellen Moore had more limitations. I told you at the very beginning of the year that if you think Kellen Moore is going to come in here and change Jalen Hurts into a passing quarterback, you're out of your minds. All of you, including Xander, all fought me on that. I said that guy's not going to change. Coordinators don't change. So you know what he did? He said, I'm not going to have a passing offense. We're just going to turn around and hand the ball off. That's why your passing numbers are down. He knows that guy's not a good enough passer. How about this? He knows that he's an effective passer with the right plays. Here, I'll give you this. Jalen Hurts is probably really good. And we're going to get Xander at the bottom of the hour. You tell me if this is a fair comment. Jalen Hurts is probably really good in the pass game at 10 plays. Where some of these other guys with the playbook are good with about 30. And that's why the passing's limited. They stick to what they're not throwing the ball 35 yards down the field anymore. Last 7 games, according to Reuben Franks, they haven't had one completion of a 35-yard completion in the last 7 ball games. That's a trend. That's what they're doing. They're not throwing the ball deep. So there's basically about 10 plays he does really well. And they're sticking with it. And that's why when the plays aren't there, there's sacks or throwing the ball out of bounds and rolling right. That's why he's not going to get better. But as long as he stays in what they're doing inside the guard, he's got tighter guardrails. By the way, stop looking at this as a negative. You're fucking 16-3 in the NFC Championship game. All of us, including me, I know what it is now. Okay? I know what it is. Saban kind of put the cherry on top of it all. In 7 years, he's not gotten better. Okay? He's not gotten better in the pocket. He's taken more sacks this year than he's ever. It's never going to get better. However, if you help him with a great running game and give him the 10 right plays to make in a game, 15 plays in a game, how many completions does Jalen complete? What is it per game? Let's see what that number comes out to. What do you have, 261 completions? In what, 15 games? So if Jalen has 17 completions in a ball game, okay, that's all the Eagles are looking for. That's all they're looking for. And to play that style of football with building a great O-line, which you've been great for 15 years. There's nothing wrong with this. Your quarterback, though, is not going to be ever a guy where you look at and go, hey, and by the way, you got to hand it to him for accepting this role. Because what does he say? You know what the number one thing he says? Win. And that's exactly what this is. This is about winning. Okay? This is all about winning. Make no mistake about it. This is all about winning ball games. And that's where he is now. And that's what Kellen Moore has done to his advantage. Okay? So when people go like this, hey, Kellen's not really enhancing the game plan. No, he is 16-3. He gets the credit also. Okay? He gets the credit too when it comes to building this football team into where you are right now in the NFC Championship game. Okay? So you can't look at it any other way. I don't think he can. And I like the fact that he's accepted his role. Okay? I like the fact that he's accepted it. Okay? All right. Fair to say Vic is a better teacher? No, I don't think so. Shit, I'd accept it too. If they handed me a $250 million contract. You know, do you remember what Boomer Esiason said on this program about 2 years ago? Some of you weren't here. Do you remember what he said, Xander? Remember what he said? Jalen Hurts has got to learn how to play with his contract. And he left that out there, and I didn't know what that meant. And now I know. If they ask you to play inside of a system for $250 million, you go along with that system because, one, the Eagles have invested in you. They're not trying to get rid of you. They gave you the no trade. They're going to build everything around you to be able to go along with what they're doing. Do you understand that the $250 million contract that Jalen has is go along money? Go along with what we're doing. We'll help build a team, and you're going to be here for it. And we want the style of play. That 250 is go along money. Okay? Hit the like button. Hey, by the way, this is not a rip. You're in the NFC title game for a second time in 3 years. Right? Forest Hill, 2022 offense, 9th in passing yards. Okay? 16th in 2024 and 29th now. They caught up with them. I mean, hey, defensive coordinators, once they get game film on you, they know how to block you. There's certain guys that can't take power rushes in the offensive line. What do? You bull rush them. You set them up for power rushes. I mean, every player has a weakness. Everybody, usually. Every player has a weakness. Okay? I mean, some is durability. Look at Dallas Goedert. What's Dallas Goedert's weakness? Dallas Goedert's weakness is he can't stay healthy. What's Jalen Hurts right now? Takes a ton of sacks. Not real proficient. A lot of guys wide open. But he'll make 10 plays in a game that matter. Okay, I mean, what's been Barkley's Achilles heel? Health. Health has been his Achilles heel. What else? Now we know, organizationally, the Giants were atrocious around him. The Giants didn't build a team around him. The Giants' inability to be able to put talented players around him was on clear effect this year. Get this. This 2024-25 Saquon Barkley season is more of an indictment on the Giants than it is anything else. It's an indictment on the Giants. For how many years? How many years is Barkley? How many years was he in New York? 6? 5? It's an indictment on New York. On how they didn't build a team, put a shitty quarterback around them, no skilled guys. The difference between 22 Hurts and 24 is the weight of expectations. There's $250 million. Keep AJ happy. Oh, and stop running it over. We accept the NFC conference. We expect the NFC conference game every single season. Dude's petrified to make a mistake. I don't think he's petrified. I don't think he plays like that nasty. I don't think he plays like that. I think his expectations are higher. Yeah, okay. $250 million put on him. Absolutely. And you expect an NFC championship appearance. Okay. He should. And I don't think he's petrified. Okay. By the way, one of my problems is with some of you that don't you have expectations too for Hurts? Some of you have is excuses. Dude, I don't give a shit about one player on your team. I carry plays. I carry produces. The two P's. And if you want to get personal with them later, that's fine. I would think in a city like Philly, I get the players that play 10 plus years. You have an affection for them. They love playing for you. They get you. I get that. Those guys are different. But guys who come in and out of here, fucking cares. Go produce. Go win. That's why everybody was caring about T.O. I don't give a shit what T.O.'s attitude was. Go fucking get me 14 catches and 140 yards. And you want to do push-ups in your driveway? Have at it. I don't care. You want to read books on the sideline? Have at it. Go get me 110 yards. And if you turn out to be somebody Philly loves and wants to buy your jersey, and you turn out to be one of the all-timers, great. That's cherry on top. But at the end of the day, I don't care about that. You see, the NFL is a lot like college in a way. You can love all your college players, but they're out of the game in 4 years. You got to go down there. You root for the team in college. You had great players at Ohio State, Notre Dame. Great players. You root for the teams. Okay? Jalen would not be starting before DE. Look, that ship has sailed. That conversation's over. Okay? He's got a no trade. You gave him the money. You got to learn to play with this, and that's what they're doing. Dude, Hurts' greatest asset, he's not fighting this. You don't really think Dan Marino fought this? When Jimmy Johnson got the head coaching job in Miami, he fought Jimmy. He didn't want to go to a run game. That would have benefited him. He wanted nothing to do with it. And that's why that relationship was horrible in the end. Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson never got along because Dan didn't want to win the way that Jimmy thought it took to win. He was going to put a running game in there. Dan wanted no part of it. And when he tried to trade him to Pittsburgh, which is facts, Wayne Huizinga parachuted in and stopped it. You know why? He didn't want the bad publicity of trading Dan Marino. Well, Dan Marino's from Penn Hills. Played at Penn Hills in PA. I don't think that would have been a bad thing, sending him back to Pennsylvania and then building a run attack. Troy Aikman was going to come out of retirement. Do you know that? If Dan Marino had left and went to Pittsburgh, Troy Aikman was coming out of retirement to play for Jimmy in Miami. That's a fact. Okay? That's a fact. Hit the like button. Xander's going to join us here in a couple minutes. I didn't know that Dan Marino never beat Penn State. I thought he had a couple wins against Penn State. I know that they went 11-1 a couple years, and they got upset by Penn State in one of those seasons. I didn't know that. I did have expectations coming into the season for Jalen, though he would play way better. But at this point, I reevaluate how I feel about him after the season. I just want to win. Messiah, that's okay. Get this, Messiah. According to some people in here, that meant that you flip-flopped on your take for him. There's nothing wrong with reevaluating how you see a player. Okay? Xander Krause is flip-flopped on Jalen Hurts. He thought he was going to throw for 4,600 yards, but now you know what he's doing? But he's right to do this. He's accepted the fact that he's winning inside of a system and an identity. That's football. these takes are not cemented. You don't build buildings with sports takes because they're going to evolve. Xander was perfect. He goes like this. Well, okay, he's not going to throw for 4,600, but he's 16-3. What's more important to me? That's the way you look at shit. Well, hell, some of those quarterbacks that he mentioned a couple days ago, they're all home. Well, I'd rather be Hurts than Joe Burrow. That's not a flip-flop. That's actually what and how people should look at, the offense with Kellen. Their quarterback is just not throwing the ball around. Look at how you look at things and you segment them. You segment one to favor Hurts and one to diminish Kellen. And yet Kellen also, as a coordinator, has led your football team to an NFC championship, something he never did in Dallas. Kellen Moore has more success this year than any time in his coaching career. Do you not agree? He just wins. Or does that not apply for him? Kellen had the number one offenses twice in Dallas, never getting to a conference championship. Now he's in a conference championship. He's won more this year than any time in his offensive coordinating career. This guy goes, Kellen Moore's not good, and you're in the NFC championship game. You're not in the NFC championship game because of your quarterback. You're in because the coordinator and the run game. And people don't want to hear that. That's the reality. That's where you are. Hit the like button, my friends. I mean, Kellen Moore can't run his playbook here. Correct. You know what he did? I told you at the beginning of the season, if you think Kellen Moore is going to walk into Philadelphia and create a passing offense for that quarterback, you're out of your mind. You remember what my prediction was? My prediction was 3,200 passing yards and 20 touchdowns. You know what he ended the season with? 2,903 and 18. We were spot on. Where I wasn't spot on was that I didn't think that defense was going to be that way. And Vic would have the impact that he's had. This is the best year of his coaching career, probably since the Philadelphia Stars. Okay? But listen, you've all changed how you see the kid. That's a good thing. Okay? That's a good thing. Hey, and by the way, when you go back to what Saban said that 7 years ago about him. He hasn't changed his opinion. That's why they went with Tua. That's the same opinion he had of him. Nothing's changed. By the way, this kind of is like really similar. Okay? It's really similar to Bama. Who was in that wide receiving room at Alabama at the time when Hurts was there in 18? Before I get Xander on here, let me take a look at that. 2018, Alabama roster. Just take a look at this for a second here. Here's the 2018 Alabama roster. They won a national title that year. They were 14-1, I believe. So here's who was on that. Here's who was on that team. Yeah, Josh Jacobs as a running back, Najee Harris, Brian Robinson Jr. All three guys starting as running backs in the NFL. You had Judy, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. Wow. Let's see who else you had in here. Dude, you had tremendous football players. Let's take a look at these wide receivers you had down here. Holy cow. Look at that. You had all those guys. So you had Chris Herring was decent. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, and your running backs were Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, and Brian Robinson. The quarterback room was Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, and Mac Jones. And they replaced them. Yeah. All right. How you doing? Holy shit, Xander. That is some fucking roster in 18. And they yanked him. And the kid was 26-2. He was the SEC Player of the Year. All right. All right. Go get himself. I'll find anything on you, bitch. Don't let it hang out there like that. All right. Hey, man, did Xander do some giveaways today? I sure hope so, man. Birds 365 is absolutely killing it. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. You're days away from the NFC Championship game. You're days away from getting hammered in New Orleans. Down there with all those freakazoids down there. Absolutely a great time at Hurricanes. Go to Pat O'Brien's and get fucked up. Getting ready for a championship game on Sunday. And who's going to be the leader of the pack? The co-host of Birds 365, Big Z. Xander Krause, how you doing, brother?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother? You're making me relive the glory days of Alabama, man. That's a pretty stacked roster you just read out.
What the running backs?
Oh, my God. The receivers, the running backs, the coaches, you name it, man. They had everybody that year. Great defense, too, by the way, that year for Alabama. So people saying, how'd they win the championship?
Look at the roster.
Yeah, pretty damn good roster. What's going on, everybody in the chat?
Did they win it that year?
What's that?
They were 14-1. Did they win it that year?
In 18?
Yeah.
I think 7. What was the year that he got benched?
Because that's Tua. That's Tua there. So Tua.
No, they didn't win it that year. No, they won the SEC title game that Jalen. Remember, Jalen came in for they didn't win the championship that year. The only year they won the championship with Tua and Jalen was the year that he replaced Jalen.
Yeah, that was 17, right?
Yeah. And then they won it again with Bryce Young the year after Tua left.
Wow. Tua had $4,000 in passing and 43 touchdowns that season. Holy cow, man. Would you make a Nick's comments on what he said about Hurts?
I thought it was some good context. You know, I mean, anytime you hear a coach like that, obviously who's been around how many players, different types of players, different skill levels of players. I mean, I open my ears and I listen to what he's got to say. I thought it was interesting the way he explained it. I mean, people won't want to admit this, but he kind of said the same thing that you say. He just said it in a little bit more of a less bombastic way and a more
diplomatic way. You mean he says it where Big Sills is not a diplomat?
Exactly. Basically said, look, rely on the run game. You got to make a couple big throws. Jalen's capable of throwing them. I thought the interesting part about what he said, though, was whenever I coach a dual threat quarterback or we coached a dual threat quarterback, we ran 7-on-7s in practice. Quarterbacks, not allowed to scramble, not allowed to run, not allowed to leave the pocket. He said that. He said in 7-on-7s, we did not let any of the dual threat quarterbacks run, Jalen Hurts being included, because he knows that when push comes to shove, eventually you're going to have to make a play from the pocket. Will you be able to do it? I think Jalen can do it. I don't know, man. The one thing I'll say, though, is it's all fine and dandy, and I get it. I get all the conversations with Jalen. Until someone proves to me that they can stop the run, I don't think this team's going to lose. Look, I get it. I understand the conversation. I understand people who want to see a more prolific passing offense. We got Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, the best O-line, a great run. I get it. I mean, it should look like the greatest show on turf. I understand it. But until somebody proves they can stop the run, I think this team's going to run their way to a Super Bowl. In fact, I'll make a proclamation right now or a gamble right now if I was betting on BetUS. I think Saquon Barkley might have the greatest Super Bowl performance by a running back in history. Does anybody know what that performance is?
I
Maybe
think
Terrell Davis?
I think it's Tim Smith. Didn't he go for 200?
Tim Smith. Who's Tim Smith?
Played at Washington. He
I thought
had
that was Tim Riggins, no? Or
no
John Riggins?
John
No,
Riggins.
Tim Smith, Washington. I see him.
Yeah, Tim Smith had a 200-yard game against the Denver Broncos, I think in San Diego. That was the
205.
Doug Williams Super Bowl.
Yep, Timmy Smith. Good pull by you. There you go. Super Bowl 22. He had
San
205 yards. And Super Bowl 32, which was the last time a running back has won the MVP of the Super Bowl. That's what, 27 years ago now?
I mean, yeah.
Terrell Davis, Super Bowl 32, had 3 touchdowns and 157 in that game on 30 carries. I think that's the type of team this is going to be. It's funny because we are literally defying everything about the modern NFL this year. We really are. They've set it up to be such a certain style of football that you've talked about, right? How many times have you talked about non-elite quarterbacks don't win the Super Bowl? You got to be able to pay. And you're not wrong. You've been
changed the rules for this.
You've been 100% right. And here we are playing old school football with 2,900 passing yards, and we're going to run our way to a Super Bowl. But
that's crazy. I mean, 1985 passing numbers, and you're talking about in 2025, all the rule change. You want to hear something even more poetic here with this, what you're saying? Do you know how many rule changes for the defensive guys they've had in the last 18 years? 2. And the recent one was the crackback block. All the rest of the changes have been unguarded wide receiver or a guy who's helpless, whatever, hitting the quarterbacks, pass interference. I don't know what pass interference, and I don't even know what a sack is today. The constant reviews to help the catching and who catches the ball, who doesn't. All those things that they've changed for the benefit of the passing game. And the Eagles have not taken advantage of that, even though they've signed those guys. Now, again, I'll make this point one more time. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are essential in the run game. Without those guys on the field, dude, you put Dotson out there or you put some other stiff out there, I don't give a shit about the guy in the Y and Z. You got Devontae Smith and you got A.J. out there, and you got the ability of Hurts to run the football. Dude, you had 2 players in one divisional game. Have you ever seen this? Both guys had over 30-yard runs to the end zone. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I've never seen that. I can't remember the last time I remember a quarterback going for a plus 30. I think it was 44 yards. And then Barkley's run to the end zone. You just don't see that.
No, you really don't. Now, here's the biggest question going into this game with Commanders. Everything you just said. How much does that change if Jalen Hurts can't run?
Oh, completely. Because he's not effective as a passer. And if he can't run, he's one-dimensional. Perfect.
Does it take away what Saquon Barkley can do, though?
Yeah, because I'm going to with my linebackers of Frankie Louvu and with the other guy in there. I mean, dude, yeah, I think it does, because then you guard the box and you don't have to have a spy on Hurts making sure he doesn't break contain. And you got Bobby Wagner in there and you got Louvu in there, and you're going to crowd the box with those 2 guys. Hey, dude, Bobby Wagner's going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I know.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
And he's still playing good, too.
Yeah, Hurts' injury, that was next on my list here.
Yeah, people hate Frankie Louvu. I get it, but, I mean, he's a game-changing player. I say that all the time. People don't like when I say that. They want me to just tell you how dirty he is. I know he's dirty. That's not my point. My point is that he hits hard and he's physical as hell, and he's willing to change the game. Whether you like it or not is fine. You want to argue legality and dirtiness, that's fine. That's a different conversation. That dude will change games. So you better scheme it up, man, and block him, because he'll take your quarterback out.
I like that. I like dirty players. I'm sorry.
Look, some people don't. Football's a violent sport. That's part of what makes football. Yeah. So when there's a dirty, violent player, I mean, shit, there used to be a lot more of them in the league. Concrete Charlie would be laughing at the league today, wouldn't he?
Dude, I think Jalen Carter's got a little nasty attitude about him.
Oh, absolutely. That's part of what makes him great too. How about him picking up the quarterback? Yeah, it's just a bully tactic, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So really, how much do you think, again, this limits the Eagles if Hurts is, I mean, I'm not sure what Nick said yet today or anything. I'm sure maybe by the
That's,
later in the day.
nah, the
What did John
coordinators.
say? What did John say about his health?
Yeah, the
Hurts.
coordinators spoke today. Nick didn't give him anything yesterday, he'll probably shield it all week if we're being honest. I mean, you know how they play this with the injury stuff. So Nick will speak tomorrow. The coordinators spoke today. Vic Fangio spoke very highly of Jaden Daniels, man, very highly. He said he might be a rookie on birth certificate or whatever, but he ain't a rookie on tape. I'll tell you that. And this kid can play. So the Eagles are not going to take him lightly, no doubt about it. But no update on Jalen. No update on Quinion yet. I would assume we're going to get one, maybe a minor update on Wednesdays with the first time that Nick will have to talk about it. But I don't think that they'll be given much, if anything.
You think BG makes it back if they do get to the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Do you want him back?
I don't. Do you need him back? I mean, I don't say that to knock on BG, but if we were severely lacking in that department right now, I'd be like, damn, get him back. I guess another body would hurt, but you have another body. They didn't even play him a snap. They're paying him $17 million. Vic Fangio doesn't even think his $17 million edge rusher is worth one. Think about that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about being a starter. I'm not talking about go get me 3 sacks. I'm not talking about take over the game. I'm not talking about make a play I'm talking about one snap. He's not good enough to get one snap over Jalen Hurts. That is wild.
Can I tell you one of the biggest differences with these coordinators this year compared to Brian Johnson and Sean Desai last year? So Brian Johnson last year and Desai, this is what Vic does. Vic goes like this. Here's who's fucking playing, and here's who's not playing. Here's Kellen. We're not throwing the ball. I don't care you paid all this. We're doing this. These two coordinators went counter every single thing. I think Kellen had more limitations because of the quarterback to deal with in the offense. I said it earlier. I think Vic had just more unknowns. He didn't know about Zach Bond. He didn't know what he had in the draft. He didn't know if those two guys were going to be in shape. He had more unknowns. Kellen had more restrictions. And here he is. Kellen Moore's in the NFC Championship game. He couldn't get out of a divisional game in Dallas. He had 2 number 1 offenses, and now he's in the NFC Championship game with an offense that fits the team and not the quarterback. That's the rub here. Here's the rub, Xander. The offense fits the team, and it doesn't fit the quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's another feather in your cap. You questioned this from the minute we hired Kellen Moore, and I drank the Kool-Aid of the motion and the pro-style offense and the passing yards and everything that was supposed
you went with the talent around it.
I thought that Kellen for sure would be able to. What I really was expecting was an improvement from where Jalen was in 22, because I felt like 22 he went on this climb, right, where he got better and better and got into the MVP conversation. I think it was really warranted. I really think he was an MVP that year, top 3, top 2, whatever you want to put him. 23 felt like it teetered off, right? It felt like, okay, something just, you almost hit a standstill where he didn't improve anymore, but he wasn't necessarily awful. I mean, he turned the ball over a good amount, but he wasn't.
That killed him.
Right. He just had a lot of turnovers. And then 24, I was expecting, all right, let's get back on that upswing that I've seen kind of since Alabama. And get get a coordinator that knows what they're doing with passing concepts and stuff. And I was way wrong. It went backwards. It went completely the opposite direction. Now, Saquon Barkley obviously aided in that, but now definitely not what I expected. But look, like I said at the start of the segment, I think we might win the Super Bowl just because I don't think a team can stop the run. I mean, you don't think the Commanders are going to stop the run. They're one of the worst run defenses in the NFL.
I think it depends on Hurts' health, on how much that's going to be a factor in here, too.
Yeah, but remember, the last time Hurts missed a game, we ran for 160.
Okay. 160 is not going to be enough with 120 yards passing to beat them. I don't think. I just don't. I mean, I think you're going to have to get at least – look at what you did last week. You ran the ball for 285 yards and almost lost. And do you think the Rams are a more talented team than Washington? I don't. You almost had 300 yards rushing. Xander, hey, you almost had 300.
Think they're comparable. You don't think they're comparable? Rams, Commanders? I don't think either of them are the greatest rosters, if we're being honest.
Rams
are good. The Rams are solid. I mean, look, who is a better D-line? Probably the Commanders. If they have Payne,
I probably think that the Rams have better edge rushers, but probably
rushers,
as an overall group, yeah.
They got Jonathan Allen back, right? He's back.
He's back.
Playing.
Yep, he's back.
So you're gonna have him back. The other easy.
That kid Fowler had a good year too, man. The kid Fowler had like 9 sacks this year.
Yeah, that's true. Dallas guy. Yep, he was with Quinn in Dallas. They got a bunch of those Dallas guys that went over to Commanders with Dan Quinn. He's done a really good job, Dan Quinn. You got to kind of give him some credit, no doubt about it. But yeah, the Commanders got some players, but I like their pass catchers. But here's the question: do I like their pass catchers, or do I like the quarterback who gets everybody involved?
Man, how would you stop Jaden Daniels?
He's tough to stop because the clear home run analysis for this game is they lost Sam Cosmi, so Jalen Carter is going to wreck the interior. But Matthew Stafford is different than Jaden Daniels. If Jalen Carter's coming at if Jalen Carter's coming at Daniels through the middle, Jaden Daniels is going to sidestep him easily. And that's not a knock on Jalen Carter. That's just what we've seen Daniels do all year. He's very elusive. I told you, he reminds me of 22 Hurts, where people can't get him down. So you got to contain him the best you can.
Yep.
And you got to have solid zone defense and make him pick you apart as a youngster. That's what I would say. But he's proven he can do that too. So, and then the other advantage that they have right now that they're riding on is, and John's talked about this all week, Dan Quinn is really playing with nothing to lose. He's going into every fourth down trying to win the game. He's going for it. He's willing to go for it. He's willing to put the ball in his young quarterback's hands. And to his credit, he hasn't let him down yet. So they're kind of a tough team from that regard. I'm having a hard time believing a rookie's going to make the Super Bowl as a quarterback.
I've never seen it.
You never seen it, right? It's never happened. Has it ever happened?
I don't think a rookie quarterback has ever taken a team to the Super Bowl. I can't think. I mean, in NFL history, where a rookie, I'm not saying first-year starter. I'm talking about a guy who
never played in the Super Bowl. Yep.
And went into the NFL and led a football team to the Super Bowl. Everyone looked, they were saying yesterday, Mahomes. Well, Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith his first year in the league. So I'm talking about a kid directly out of college taking a football team that had 4 wins a year ago. Now they got 14 wins, and now you're in the NFC Championship game, and you're 8 quarters away from a Super Bowl title.
Yeah, right.
How insane is that? I don't believe I've ever seen anything like that.
Wait, can I give you a gloomy outlook? And it might not be true, but it's definitely something to consider moving forward if you're an Eagles fan and if you're Howie Roseman. They have $100 million in cap space. And Jaden Daniels has 4 more years of a rookie contract.
And 10 picks.
10 picks, $100 million, and a rookie contract quarterback who's playing like a top 5 player. I'm not going to say the Eagles' window's closed, but it just got significantly harder, okay? This team is going to be coming. They're going to retool in the offseason. They're going to add talent. They're kind of where the Eagles were after the 21 season. And they had way more success in 24 than we had in 21. We were 9-7 and got bounced in round 1. Then we got A.J. Brown. Then we did we did a couple of things on defense. Then we drafted Jalen Carter, Jordan Day. We started to build our defense. They're way ahead of that. That's scary.
You know what I would do?
Divisional team.
You know what I would do if I'm Adams, the GM? I go get Becton and Cooper Kupp and add them to the team as veterans and then draft. Cooper Kupp is going to be a free agent. He doesn't believe he's coming back to the Rams. You imagine having somebody like an Adam Thielen on that team for that kid that knows how to get open. And
Cooper
then you
Kupp would be a perfect fit there.
And then you put Becton in that offensive line in the middle there at $20 million. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Washington is in a really good place right now. And like you said, this football team, man, there's not a chance in hell they thought they were. Man, they barely knew they were making the playoffs the final week of the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're totally playing with house money.
They're playing confident right now. They're playing confident and they're playing like they can beat anybody. Sometimes that's a major element in a game. Like, look, these are all professionals. They're all great football players. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's how it comes. That's what it comes down to is belief, and they certainly believe in that kid, man. I was a little bit skeptical early, wasn't I? Where I told you Jaden Daniels might come back to reality a little bit. I kept saying that week 7, week 10. I'm not criticizing Jaden Daniels anymore. All right. This kid's already proved me wrong enough this year. I think he could be the first young quarterback in the NFC that has upside like the guys you see in the AFC. You know, the 4 we talk about in the AFC, you talk about Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow. This might be the first young gun in the NFC that you look at and you're like, holy shit, he's got crazy upside.
If I make this comment here, and I'm not saying, do I think Washington can beat them on Sunday? I think they can, but I don't. However, that kid goes on to win the Super Bowl in his first season. You're going to talk about him not just as the best rookie season of all time. You're going to talk about him as one of the top quarterbacks, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
If he wins this thing.
I think you could already make a case for him at 5. Now, I'm not going to go there because I think he should show a little bit more. You know, you see a lot of guys who have been one-hit wonders in the league. I don't want to go down that road yet. 5 is a pretty crazy rank. But, look, we did our quarterback. How many times did we do our quarterback rankings this year? 10 times. Yeah. You know, those fluctuated all the time. And the main fluctuations happened from 5 to 10, right? I mean, you could make the argument.
If you're going to rank quarterbacks now for the final 4 teams, Mahomes is 1, Allen's 2, Daniels is 3, and Hurts is 4.
Yeah, no doubt. But rank the teams now.
Eagles 1.
There you go. That's all I need to hear. I'm not saying you're wrong about the quote. Well, listen, let me ask you, who do you think is going to win this week?
The Eagles.
Okay. And you think Jaden Daniels is better, right?
Yes.
So why do you think the Eagles are going to win? Because the team is more important, right?
Because the team is more loaded and they've got more stars around.
Right. So I'm saying that's more important to me. At this point in the year, that's more important than having the better quarterback. I'm not saying you're wrong, though, about the quarterbacks. I'm just saying if you yourself are telling me the quarterback's better in Washington, but you think the Eagles are going to win the game, then that tells me you value the team being good more than you value what Jaden is going to do for that team. Right? Is that a fair read?
Yeah. Right. I think Jalen's going to do enough to win, and I think the rest of the team is going to carry him.
The Commanders aren't beating us in the link on Sunday. All right, I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Here's how I would rank the teams. I'd go Eagles as rosters, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Washington. So you can make the argument that Jaden Daniels is on of the final 4.
You think Bills team's better than Commanders roster?
I think you could flip one of those. You could flip those 2, but they showed up against the Ravens last week, man. They really did. They showed up against.
I bet you that defensive coordinator was watching the Eagles game plan for the Ravens because we made them a shell of themselves.
If you wanted to put Washington 3rd and then put the Bills last, okay. I don't have a problem with that either. But
Eagles are 1, however you slice the last 3. Eagles
and I think the Eagles are 1 in a big margin.
Yeah, I do too.
The Chiefs are great at the corner. The Chiefs are pretty decent. I'll tell you what, that Galifianakis kid they got from Purdue, and also with Chris Thompson.
How
about this? The Greek guy.
Zach Galifianakis. That's the actor. That's the Hangover actor.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right. Hey, Chris Jones and the Greek guy, and the 2 corners. The Chiefs have a very underrated offensive line. Creed Humphrey's really good. Their Tooney kid is pretty good. So they got some pretty good players in the middle in there, but Eagles are better across the board, dude. With Galifianakis in between 2 ferns, which is, by the way, a fucking funny. Yo, when he gets those celebrities on there, have you seen that thing between 2 ferns with Galifianakis?
No,
where he's got like a fucking.
Silly, I don't sit at my computer for 14 hours a day and then seek out Zach.
No. Dude, I watch porn in that and this. That's all I really do. I don't really. You must think that I'm searching
you gotta be
for
kidding
content.
Me. What are you stooping our show that low for? I wish I could rewind and remove that second of content.
Oh, you're right. You don't. Okay. I forgot. That's right. All right. Good. Okay. So what about the game plan for Kellen going against this Washington team if Hurts is hurt?
What do you got in your? Can I ask you first? What's in your head?
I'm stopping. I got to load the box on Barkley. and I want Hurts to beat me. You've got to make him beat you. Now, here's the thing. If Hurts can't run, he ain't beating you. If Hurts can run, he's going to beat you. Jalen is electric in the run game. He is. And he's efficient in the pass game. Thank you, Nick.
So you're just gonna run the ball still with Saquon Barkley and force.
I'm going to run the ball at Washington until Washington proves to me they can't take
stop
much.
I agree. That should be your whole philosophy for the rest of the playoffs.
Absolutely. I'm going to get into a phone booth with you, and you and me are going to get into a fist fight, and whoever comes out of the phone booth is going to go to the Super Bowl. Hey, I got a feeling the Eagles are going to come out of the phone booth, and the Eagles are going to walk out of there. It's going to be a good fight, but it's not going to last long.
So you think we're going to be covering a Super Bowl run a week from today? We'll be starting to prep for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, but with the stupid bye week, yeah, it'd be 2 weeks out from that thing, yeah.
Yeah, the bye week's a pain, but it should be fun.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be epic, man. Oh, my God, that'd be epic. I hope they win. I hope they win, Sileo, and hopefully you're not a grump on the postgame show after they would.
Hey, you're a grump, man. What do you got? How do you see that AFC Championship game with the Bills and the Chiefs?
It's hard to go against Mahomes at this point, right? I think I'd rather see, like, if you're asking me who I'd rather play, I get people want the story, and it's cool. I'd love the story of righting the wrong of losing to the Chiefs, but I asked Tom Brady if he wanted to see Eli Manning again. All right. I mean, come on, yo. Don't be foolish. I want to play the Bills because I believe we have a better chance at beating the Bills. That's all. I don't think Josh Allen could do it.
I'm with Angelo here.
You want to see
Chiefs? Give me Andy Reid.
Listen, I love Angelo. He's got to cool it on the Andy Reid talk, man. He sounds come on.
He hates Andy, man.
Dude, this dude's the best coach in the game right now. He's going to be a top 3, top 5 coach of all time.
When it's all tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened.
He's got something personal with Andy.
Yeah, well, I guess Andy used to dick around his appearances, and he'd be late. He would do it. I mean, Angelo thought he did it on purpose.
Well,
and he thought the PR people did it on purpose. You know why he hates Nick, right? His final retirement week, they wouldn't put Nick on. They didn't put fucking Nick on the final week for Nick to say goodbye to Angelo. And Angelo is, man, the battalion guys. Oh, real quick. I have to say this. Hey, Bob Lane, I am highly offended by Darius Slay aging like a fine Dago wine. I am
good.
so offended. Hey,
no, he is. That's one you're going to have to eat some crow on and give the young grasshopper a little love. I've been telling you Slay was going to be good all year.
Wait a minute. A Dago? I'm offended.
Vic said it, not me. If you got a problem, argue with the number 1 defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Said that Slay is aging like a Dago Wop wine. Hey, man, I'm offended, Bob Lang. Jeez, oh, man, it sounds like somebody is a high-class CPA. Holy shit. A Dago. Now I'm a Dago. Oh, my God. Vic probably has the autonomy to say it because he is a Paisan. And since he ends in O, remember this, folks. All great guineas end in O. Marino, De Niro, Pacino, Fangio, Sileo. They all fucking end in O.
Sileo, yes. Sileo is the best. I will rank Sileo number 1 on that ranking right there, Big Sills. Sileo 1, Fangio 2. The rest of them can F right.
Hey, man, if Mahomes, dude, do you still feel Mahomes is winning his third? If it's the Eagles,
I'm not sold on that yet. I'm not sold on that yet. But here's the thing: people keep telling me they're the least impressive team left, and I don't care. They keep
winning. 1 loss or 2 losses.
Yeah, how many times are you going to tell me that they don't look pretty? It's like the same conversation as the Eagles, except they actually have an MVP level quarterback, obviously there. So it's a different equalizer with him. I don't care. They just keep winning, so it's hard for me to bet against them at this point. If they get back to the dance, I don't want to face them. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd much rather face the Bills. I'd much rather face the Bills. Wait, so listen. You're going to have Andy Reid with a week off, okay? Coming in versus
Steve Spagnuolo with a week off.
Steve Spagnuolo with a week off. There's nobody better than Andy Reid coming off a bye week. Nobody better. You give Andy Reid enough time, he will prep for your team and have you mastered. I don't know. Again, if we go up against them, it's fuck the Chiefs. We're going to win the game. But if you're telling me right now and I got 5 days and I can pick my opponent, I'm certainly not picking the guy going for a three-peat. That's for sure.
Are you giving this fucking merch away anytime this week? Have you done it yet, or what are you doing
on your show? I'm not doing it today.
All right.
I'm doing Bond, though, on your show.
You going to do what?
Zach Bond.
Zach Bond? Hey, by the way, wait a minute. We're going to do all this. Let's do the supers now, Xander. Let's do the supers.
Flexen says he wants the rematch.
You want the rematch, Flexen?
I don't not want it, Flex. I don't not want it, but who do you think you could beat easier?
Dude, don't do that, Flexen. I want to have a pugilistic fight where fairness is fairness. Fuck that. Give me the lesser guy. I'll take the lesser roster, even though Allen's sensational. Give me the fucking Bills. I don't want to face the Chiefs. Holy cow. Stop acting like
I get it, because this is the take. Everybody's going to want the Chiefs. I mean, you want to write
hey, I want to make sure that we're playing. Now, we'll say this to you, though.
I mean, the emotional element as a fan, you want to knock off Goliath, right? I'm telling you, I'd rather see the Bills.
As a fan, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
As a fan, right? The feeling of knocking off Goliath is greater than beating someone you believe you're superior than. So it's a different feel. I understand where you're coming from. I'd love to knock the Chiefs off. It would feel better to knock the Chiefs off. I agree.
Here's what I got to tell you about this Commander team, though. I will say this. You think they shot their wad up in Detroit, man? I put everything on the line up there. They play with all the great emotion. They blow them out. Don't you have a letdown after something like that when you've never been in the playoffs in 20 years and you haven't done shit in like forever, and here you are in the NFC title game? Or do you just roll into the next one? Or because you had too good a coaching there with Quinn and with Kingsbury and those guys, that those guys are just going to go, and you got Bobby Wagner just going like this. We haven't done dick yet.
I hear you. Forget the coaches. This is Jaden Daniels driven, bro. This kid is I'll use a word. He's unflappable. Okay. He's completely unflappable. And what I mean by that is
mature beyond his years.
Calm in every moment of chaos. Yep. He is controlled. He is poised. He is, and forget all those intangibles. He's supremely talented. Yes. I mean, the kid is, he's a special talent, and he's proven that all year long. I mean, did you see that one big throw he had in that divisional game versus the Lions all the way down? I mean, he loaded up that thing.
Yeah.
And
he's got a big arm.
A big arm, accurate, mobile, smart. Did you hear that? Did you hear Cliff Kingsbury talk about what he does to prep for games? He puts on like a VR headset.
Yeah,
and he kind of goes through the
virtual
motion.
shit. It's like virtual.
Virtual reality. That's what the world. That's what it's going. You're going to start to see a lot more of that. Which is
playing the game virtual wise in his brain.
And have you ever put one of those on, Sileo? Have you ever Yeah, they're pretty crazy. I've only had we had an Oculus here in the house, like a one Christmas, a couple Christmases ago. They're pretty cool. I would imagine you can make that football game feel pretty real.
Oh my God, that's great. I could just see me around with a whole bunch. Oh my God, there it is right there.
Oh my God. Can you imagine Sileo on a VR headset?
Oh my God, I could just, I'm in there with Sofia Vergara in there, and I'm going yeah.
Billy Dog says, you just described Hurts. All right. You think
you just described Hurts.
No, well, here's where I agree. I agree from a
mature,
from an intangible. How many times do we talk about intangibles? Okay.
That usually means he's not very gifted as a passer when you say that shit too. When you start with, hey, he's a great leader. He wins a lot. I go, what kind of talent does he have? This is what you start with fucking Daniels. He's exceptionally gifted, and he's gifted beyond his years. Like Vic said today, the only thing that doesn't match up is his birth certificate.
All right. Can we who's the more talented passer?
Oh, Daniels by far.
All right, I'm not asking you. You think I'm asking everybody in the chat. Who is the more talented passer? Jalen Hurts or Jaden Daniels? Who's the more talented player?
Howie Roseman is more talented than Hurts and the Eagles. Hey,
Who's the
by
more
the way,
talented player?
do me a favor. The next time they show Howie jumping off the ground, you might want to edit that, man. That thing showed me no athleticism, and it looked like a little midget guy. If Vic could use Dago, I can use midget. Jumping off the ground. I mean, that guy needs a Tokyo phone book to look people in the eye.
Trump's back in office. You're technically allowed to say whatever you want now, aren't you?
I know. Vic is too, I guess. Calling me
Daniels.
a
He says Daniels. Tanner McKay. No, he's not. Better than McDaniels. Daniels. All right, so Daniels. Yeah, I mean, I think people agree that Jaden Daniels is a supremely impressive football player.
Ty Detmer is a better passer.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Josh McCown.
Rash says, Xander, you're nuts to ask that question. Why, Rash?
Josh McCown is a better passer.
Dude, fuck that. No, he's not.
Bobby Brister.
Oh, wait, did you have a field day with the Howie video? You must have had a field day with the Howie video, right?
Oh, I did, man. I posted it, even I go like this. Look at this guy here, man. He's got the vertical jump of 1 inch.
That was funny though. I love watching Roseman on the sideline.
See his knees click together.
Oh my god, the most unathletic jump you'll ever see in your life, but it looks hilarious. Yo, Anthony, thanks for becoming a member earlier, bro. I appreciate that.
How he looked like a shoe salesman jumping up off.
Yeah.
Is that it on the supers?
Oh no, we got more. My bad.
Okay,
I forgot what we were doing here. C-Tay says, do you really believe this team can score 35 plus? You're going to have to with this team. I think Jalen has to be perfect for it to happen. With a bum knee, it's not looking good. Why do you think we're going to have to score 35?
No, I think you're going to get 145 yards passing from Hurts, 50 yards rushing. You might get 2 TD passes down on the goal line, and Hurts might give you 3 TDs in this game.
No, but here's my question for C-Tay. And I'm not saying you're wrong, Sileo. Why does he believe that the Commanders are going to score 35 plus?
Oh, I don't.
We haven't given up more than 18 at home
since the bye.
Since the bye, but we gave up 22 in the divisional. But
what'd you give up in that Packer game?
35 points.
What'd you give up in that Packer game? The first game of the year, was it 28?
That was the one in Brazil. It was like 34-29. I think we won,
something like that. Dude, how many games have you given up 30 points? I mean, you gave up 22 this last week against the Rams, right?
22, yeah.
Okay. What'd you give up the week before that in the wild card?
Packers? We beat them, what? Pretty big, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't remember 28 points.
Like 22-10, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Where the fuck are you getting 35 points from the Washington? Now, the Commanders did put up 41 on Detroit.
Yeah, 22-10 we beat the Packers. They gave up 10. Yeah, they're not scoring 35. I mean, I like the Commanders, but they're not scoring 35. Dude, that's part of our formula. If the Commanders score 35, we're fucked.
Hey, absolutely. That's
part
a great
of our formula is that we need to have a great defense.
The Eagles haven't given up 35 points in the last 2 playoff games. You think they're going to give up 35 in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah,
I'm not going there with that.
In Philly? Come on, I'm not. I don't think so.
No way. No way.
Stay focused says not even close, Xander. We win despite Hurts. I guess that's to the Jaden and Jalen conversation.
You know what, though? Hey, Stay. It's not because I guess I polluted this whole thing here by saying you win in spite of the guy, but he just stay with what he does.
Yes, you did. Okay, good acknowledgement by you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay. Eagles Nation appreciates that. Thank you very much, Sileo. Dave says, Howie clapped his shoes like Wizard of Oz.
I'm going back to Kansas. I want to go back to Kansas. I want to go back to Novacare. Did you see? Yeah, when he jumped off the ground, it looked like he got electrocuted.
No, he didn't have 5 picks. He had 2 picks. Then the 3 somebody had 2 fumbles in that game, and someone else had a fumble. I mean, I think Brian Robinson had 2 fumbles, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't all Jade, and he had 5 tutties in that game. and 2
When
picks.
Howie went to go do the hand slaps, I thought he broke his hand too. I mean, his hand must look like one of those little baby.
All right,
doll hands.
enough shit on Roseman. The only reason we're in this game right now is
I
because of Roseman.
guarantee you, talk about Trump having little hands. I guarantee you, this guy's
I don't
got
give a
little
shit.
kitty hands.
The only reason we're in this game right now is why. Howie and Dick.
The Howie, yeah, because like John
It's
said,
Howie and Dick.
Howie got lucky.
Dude, he built the Avengers on offense so good that they don't need great quarterback.
Agree that the 3 things that made this team what it is the finding of Bond, the moving of Becton to right guard, and the acquisition of Barkley is the difference in this team. You could throw in Q and his play back there along with Cooper DeJean too, but those 3 guys, finding of Bond, the signing of Barkley, and the moving of Becton to the right guard position were the absolute insane right moves that dude, Becton had never played guard in his entire life. He goes over there and he's a fucking all-pro kind of player. Then you have 2 all-pros? Who signs 2 all-pros, Xander? That guys that were thrown away. The Saints had no issues in letting him go, and Barkley was lied to on the way out the door. The Saints and the Giants gave 2 first team. No, dude, not third team, second team. 2 first team all pros. Holy shit. I've never seen that. Where you just let 2 first team all pros on 2 different teams.
Sileo, can you educate one of our viewers here? Okay. And I love him, but Joe Whip says, let's see Sills jump. Sills can't jump over an Adam. Joe, you might want to run back the Sileo highlights though from back in the day. It might be funny to chirp you now, but you're 60. All right. It's not fun. It's not funny to chirp a 60-year-old. Sileo in his heyday was a fucking machine.
Hey, I had a 27 vertical.
Yeah,
and
Sileo was a machine.
In the Miami Herald. I posted it in the Miami Herald. I posted it in the Miami Herald. I had a 27 vertical at 292 pounds.
Yeah, come on, man.
I have a higher vertical than what Jalen Carter did.
There's plenty of things to bash Sills about. I don't know if that's
what you doing.
All right, here we go. Bumper says, I'm picking neither because we're not making a pass this week. I'm calling bullshit.
What do you mean you're not making a pass? You're making a pass.
He doesn't care Chiefs or Bills because we're not making it anyway.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Give me a break. Come on, man.
Flexing and stepping. I like it. Nah, I don't take easy routes. More bragging rights. He wants the rematch.
Okay. All right.
All right, Flex. Flex, let me ask you this. Would you rather lose the bowl to the Chiefs or get to the bowl and beat the Bills? Obviously, the latter. Obviously.
Dude. All right. Get to the goddamn bowl and who's ever in there, beat them up. Go get them.
Okay, I'm telling you right now that if Andy Reid's coming in with 2 weeks to prep against a one-dimensional offense and Steve Spags, I'm not feeling too hot about that.
Come on, man.
Okay.
I don't know. Hold on here. Xander, I got to send you something here. Do another one here.
Everybody's like, not a good question. That's the fucking point, dummies.
That's the point.
The point is that it wasn't a good question. You obviously want the win. I'm not going to hear clamor for KC, though.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Eric Lucetta says, I expected an aggressive, hard-hitting, trash-talking game.
Yeah. Yeah, because Bobby Wagner's talking shit.
Yeah, Frankie Louvu's about to F somebody up.
Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, you know what I'm telling my guys in the huddle? If I'm Dan Quinn, I'm doing this. Every time you see that kid Hurts, hit his fucking knee. Bang him in the head. Fuck him up.
People might not want to hear you say that.
I want hats on him. Tenderize him. Let's see how healthy he is.
That's an old school football player right there. You're hearing everybody.
That's what I'm. But
listen, people don't like to hear that shit, but that's what teams are going to do. I mean, there's no doubt.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, they're going to say that.
I know. Look, Bounty Gate. People are mad at you, but you ain't wrong.
Body bag game.
Hey, Xander, Flex, thanks for the 10 beans, bro.
Look at that article I sent you. Look at that article I sent you. Look at that article I sent you.
You sent me an article?
Yeah, look at the article where it says 20. That's out of the Miami Herald, 27 vertical.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
But wait a minute. Get this. But which made me the most powerful guy in the national championship 87 team, which meant I was the best athlete with Michael Irvin and all them guys on the team. I stopped at 500 because I hurt my shoulder. I was about 540 then. I was 292, and I leaped 27 inches on a vertical. I could slam not a basketball, a Nerf ball back in the day. How you doing? Now I can't jump over.
Glenn Miller had a hard-on for Sileo. Your name is mentioned in this article like 40 times in like 4 paragraphs.
Hey, not only that, now I can't jump over a Twinkie. But
there you go, Joe Whip. You were right. You can't jump over a Twinkie anymore. All right. What I say, to be the man, you got to beat the man. I agree with that.
Absolutely, man. Oh, but flexing. If you're telling me, do I want to try to win a Super Bowl versus Josh Allen in a one-man show, or do you want me to go against Patrick Mahomes? I'm not taking the Eagles in that game. I'll just bury the lead right now. I'm going with the team that's got 3 Super Bowls, going for number 4 and 3 in a row. Sorry, dude. That guy's going to win ball games. He's going to win ball games.
You ain't wrong. Sig Lord says CD Deuce about to go the 3rd straight NFC championship.
Woo! Look at that.
Wait, can I also say this? Because what you just said about what the Commanders are going to try and do to Jalen.
Yeah.
How about we do that to their twig little quarterback? I mean, Jaden Daniels is a good fucking player, but that dude looks like he could be put in a grinder and destroyed in the NFL.
You're going to put a spy on him, which means this. You're going to leave the middle of the zone open and have an only cover with one guy instead of 2
guys. He can exploit you.
That's right. By the way, that tight end ain't all that bad in Washington.
No, he's good. They got 2 of them, Ertz and Bates. They're both pretty good. Yeah. Ertz has made – how many clutch catches has Ertz made this year?
Oh, my God. Zach Ertz. You don't think Zach Ertz wants to beat Howie?
Oh, Zach Ertz wants to beat Philly this weekend. He's probably the one who's watching the most film this weekend. How about
the shit talking that fucking Nick had on him, too?
Who?
That little thing that they had at the end of the game saying you had 1 catch in the game. You were no fucking factor. And then, don't you remember there was an argument at the end of the game between Zach Ertz and Nick? And Nick had to call him up and apologize because he goes, yeah, we went in. And then fucking Nick walked by him and said, you had 1 catch in the game. You were no impact in it.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, Ertz is a little bit soft.
I don't know why I don't like Nick because he is a dick.
Ertz is a little bit soft. I agree, Clary Boy. He's definitely a little softy. A little
I don't know why I don't like Nick, man. He's kind of a dickhead, too. And I should be like
he is. It's kind of fun. He's like an Italian dickhead, and you hate him. Maybe that's because, opposites attract, right? You guys are like oil and water. Flexman Steppen says, I respect it, Sills, but I love a challenge.
I get it. It's good for the fans.
We go. Yeah, but when they lose offensive coordinator, well, they're going to lose them, but.
No. I know what you're saying, Surgical. If they lose, everyone will blame Kellen, and they won't put it on Jalen. They'll put it on Kellen.
No, I think he's talking about when Jaden Daniels loses his offensive coordinator.
Oh.
Like Jalen did.
Here's another thing. I bring in Doug there, too. Hey, Doug Peterson is going to get it.
They're not going to bring in Doug. Well, we're not. I know you said that yesterday. Josh B. Check. What's up, Josh? Josh says, I hate when we have this has never happened before because the Eagles seem to make that thing happen.
What have they made happen, Josh? I must have missed it in the last couple of years. What have
been a lot of those this year?
What is that?
I can't think of them off the top of my head. Somebody give me something.
There you go. Hey, Josh, I must have missed that championship ring you got put on your finger.
Fucking Sills. Josh B, you're gonna have to be smoother than that to get by Sills.
Come on, Josh. What do you
No, he's saying he's scared because he's saying that because Jade or rookie QB has never started in the Super Bowl, that it might happen for the first time. The Eagles seem to make it happen. We'll see. Brian Pumper checks in. The only way to stop Jaden is to sell out on hitting him on the RPO. Lay him out. Good luck on empty and hurry up. I'll have to pray.
That's right, man.
He's actually right.
Hey, Brian, every time he runs down that line of scrimmage, hit that fucker. Absolutely. When he hasn't had the ball or not on that RPO, lay him out and see how much he can get up from that. Completely agree with that. That's how you tenderize these RPO guys. Keep putting hats on them.
Here we go. What the Duck Auto? I like that name. Brian Johnson's being overlooked. What Washington has him now? Yeah, it's revenge for him too.
Oh shit, man. Hey, and he's done a hell of a job. And Jay Daniels has said his impact on him and how he's handled him in the passing game has been huge.
Man. Can you imagine? Cliff Kingsbury takes a head coaching job. Brian Johnson gets elevated to offensive coordinator in Washington, and he lights it up. Oh, no. That would be brutal. That would be brutal.
I think they should have stuck with Brian another year.
I do, too. I agree 100%. Nosti Beats checks in. John Elway won Super Bowl.
Yep.
I don't know what XXIV would be what?
50.
29? I don't know. I'm not very good with the Roman numerals. Sorry.
Is it? Whatever.
I think 29. That's what I said. Was 10 of 26 for 108, 2 ints, and 2 fumbles.
I told you he was. Yeah, well, he's got a lot in common with Jalen Hurts. He was the caboose on that team because Terrell
24.
Davis, that was the 156 game that he had when Elway went for 108. Caboose. Him and Hurts have a lot in common. Cabooses. I don't.
All right. Any more? Jalen would not. You got this, right? Jalen would not be starting. Yeah. All right, here we go. Last time Sills jumped, the Grand Canyon was formed. JK, love you, Sills.
And let me tell you something, Jeff.
Bonehead, you don't love Sileo. Don't lie to him. You stole that Jerome Brown jersey so fast, you didn't even have to think, Joe Bonehead.
Hey, Jeff. King Kong ain't got shit on me. All right? Just remember that, Jeff. That's Alonzo Harris, baby. Always remember Alonzo Harris's famous words. King Kong ain't got shit on me. How you doing, man?
All right. You think we're going to win on Sunday?
You're still feeling good, right? You're still feeling good about it.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel – I'm not going to lie to you. I think this is going to be a harder test than the Rams were. I really do. I really believe that. I think the quarterback is really good. And I don't think everybody in Philly has yet come to grips with how good this kid is. I think this kid's really freaking good. And I think he's an equalizer to the extent that Josh Allen might be in Buffalo, where he doesn't have as good of a roster. Everything on paper looks like it's good for the Eagles. Vegas is on the Eagles. Betting is on the Eagles. Everybody says our defense is better, our offense is better, our running back is better, our wide receivers are better. I think they look at that. They got nothing to lose. They don't care at all. They believe they can beat anybody, and that could be a problem.
They heard all that in the Detroit game.
Yeah. I'm not saying we're not going to win. I think we're going to win the game. I'm just saying I think it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a slugfest.
I think this game's going to be a 3-point football game.
I do too. That's my the prediction I have in my head right now, which we won't give out till Friday.
I just have to figure out if it's a lot of points or not a lot of points. That's what I just got to figure out.
I believe the Eagles will win. I do believe the Eagles will win this game. I think they're going to have – I think it's going to come down to the defense. Like it did last week, defense get a stop late in the game. Jalen Carter makes a play, something like that. But look, I'm not sleeping on them. No way. You know, people told me I was sleeping on the Rams. Luckily for us, we're fans. I don't play the damn game. You know, I'm not one of the guys. You might be. If you are, that's fine. But I'm not one of the people that says, like, we have to win. The Eagles have to win. I'm a fan of the Eagles. I'm not a part of the Eagles, all right? I'm not a player. I don't have any affiliation to the organization other than fandom, you know?
What if a rookie beats Hurts Sunday? What if a rookie beats Hurts Sunday?
That's not going to be good, is it? I think the NFL is going to crown Jaden Daniels very quickly, which they should. But it's not going to happen. So let me just put that out there. It's not going to happen. If it does happen, will it be more a reflection on Jalen or just the team in general?
The philosophy of what they did. And then Jalen's part of that. The passing, hey, like Angelo said, if they lose you know what sucks about this? This is really Super Bowl or bust. Because if they win, everyone's going to go, great, okay. Yeah. But if they lose, holy shit. There's 17 things you can smash somebody in the head over.
Oh, God. Oh, man. I'm already getting a little jittery.
Everybody from Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff has been theoretically benched
theoretically, how about realistically? He had 0 snaps in the divisional game. They put in Jalen Hunt over him, who had a sack.
0 snaps at $18 million a year.
Oh, man. Listen, it's pretty crazy that one of your biggest offseason moves can be that much of a failure and you're still in the NFC title game. Shows you how good everybody else has been. Shows you how good Vic Fangio has been. And shows you that the draft picks actually worked.
Yes.
That's the one thing I'm going to make you eat your words on in the offseason, because you've said, and you weren't wrong, that Howie sucked at drafting defense. Well, we got some dudes that he drafted on defense now that are performing.
And these guys are having really good years. We'll see if they have great careers.
Jalen Carter?
Just years. Well, I was on him totally, man. By the way, how much of a reach was that at 9?
It wasn't a reach at all. Yeah, it wasn't a reach at all.
I mean, holy shit, what are we talking about here, man?
Well, Nolan Smith right now looks like a good pick.
Yes.
30
pick. Yep.
30th overall. I mean, he's contributing late in the playoffs now.
We got a couple supers after this. We'll let you out of here, Xander. I know you've been.
Did we get more supers? Oh, yeah.
We got a couple more super chats here.
Devontae checks in. I'm telling the defense, take Daniel's soul and see how bad he wants to play. I'm with you. Go be dog on this dude.
Hey, Devontae, you could play on my team any day with that mentality. I'm in with you, brother.
Yep, facts, Devontae. Matt NG. D-line needs to get home early. Yes. But here's the problem, Matt.
Contain.
It's going to have to be a three-legged thing on that defensive line, because if you're going to get pressure up the middle, Jaden Daniels has shown you he'll just scoot right by that and move right to the outside and make a play from outside the pocket or scramble. Look, the things that we love about Jalen Hurts, that we've been watching Jalen Hurts do to defenses for the last 3 years, they now have that in Washington. How many times have you watched Jalen Hurts escape a sack and get a first down when you're not supposed to get a first down? They have that in Washington. I think the key to the defensive line is, as you say, Matt, get home, not just pressure. You got to finish the deal. You got to wrap him up and bring him to the ground. Clary Boyd checks in. Quinn choked every year since Atlanta's Super Bowl. Well, that's a different year. Different year, different quarterback, man.
Yes, it's true. The 28-0 game, but I'll tell you one thing he does. So he's got 2 conference championship rings and a Super Bowl ring. One of them was as a coordinator for the Legion of Boom. Remember, this guy here has a coordinating Super Bowl. Vic doesn't. And he's got a conference championship ring in Atlanta, being a head coach / D coordinator there. This guy's a good coach. He's a good fucking coach, dude. 2 conference titles and also a Super Bowl ring as a DC. And you're going to have to go against that offense, and he's the D coordinator in Washington. I don't know about you, bro, but that's a great resume. It's a great resume he has.
It's a great resume. Arthur says QB1 on one leg is better than just dude 5. Come on, man. Come on, Arthur. I respect the fandom, but come on.
Arthur, why are you saying that when you know it's not true? Just tell me.
So I had a guy on Sills that you would have loved. He's in your chat a lot. I had a guy on the post-game show on Sunday. It was the last guy I had on, and we were way late with it, but Underdog. I don't know if Underdog's in the chat right now. He was earlier, but he might not be right now. So he was on the show. He was great. You would have loved him. I mean, he was dissecting why Jalen Hurts is just not the guy. All right. It was pretty good stuff. It was great talking with him though. But anyway, he alerted me to a sector of Eagles fans from the from the 90s. That, what did he call them? What was the name that he used? Was it Eagle Kool-Aid drinkers or the guys who just don't see any wrong with the Eagles and think that everything is sunshine and rain? I forget what he called them. It was a really good name that he used for them, but he alerted me to them, and I'm seeing a lot of those guys now. M. Reyes, you are the captain of that club.
Well, yeah. Well, no, what you have is that
Kool-Aid, yeah.
You have a lot of loyalty. I mean, dude, when you pan in and you pan the stands and the television cameras pan it, you could see the massive loyalty that the community has for the team, and they're going to fall in love with the people that put those colors on and represent them. And that's cool. It's okay. But my big argument with people is not about whether I like Jalen Hurts or not. My argument always is, why won't you identify with what he is? That's my problem with it. You won't actually say what he is. He's limited as a passer. He's electric as a runner. And he does just enough in the pass game for you guys to be where you are in a system. That's what he is. And by the way, you hate that definition because you hate your quarterback is defined like that. I get it. But what do you care if you win a Super Bowl?
There it is. There's underdog. Kool-Aid drinkers. Yeah, the Eagles Kool-Aid drinkers.
Yeah, there's
a lot
like
of them.
10% of the Kool-Aid drinkers. And M. Reyes has overdosed on it 3 times. I heard he had to have his stomach pumped 6 times over at the hospital. And when they pumped it out there, it was all
Wait, you missed it. No. Wait, listen. You'd be proud of M. Reyes. I promise you, as a showman, the showman that you are, the entertainer that you are, you would be proud of M. Reyes. All right. M. Reyes showed up. He had like a Freddy Krueger mask or something, and he was wearing a Jalen Hurts baseball jersey. It just says Hurt. It doesn't even say Eagles. It just says Hurts. I'm like, what is this? The School of Hurts? But he did the whole shtick with it. It was great. It was really entertaining. I'm going to give him credit for
it. That's a win for you, M. Reyes.
It was funny.
That's a win.
All right, wait. Let's read these. We got a couple more now.
Okay.
1 a.m. Brad. What's up, brother? Can I get a happy birthday shout out from OG Sills and Prince Xander, me and Jake Missy Elliott? Uh-oh. Is it Jake
Happy
Elliott's
birthday, Big Fish. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much, my friend.
Happy birthday, brother. I appreciate you for sure, man. Thank you for the super. I should be sending you a super chat. It's your birthday. Thank you, brother.
M. Reyes, don't get ahead of yourself, though, kid. It's all good, kid. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was funny. I'm telling you, it was funny. It was good. It was a good shtick. He did it. He pulled it off. Chris Albright says, give me a Landon Dickerson pregame speech, and we'll be ready to beat Washington. Chris, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
What's he going to do? Sit on his lawnmower and give you guys a fucking pep
Wait,
talk?
have you not seen his pregame speeches?
I did.
Dude, you'd like them. He's great. He's freaking great.
No, I do. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's the 3rd best guard in the league.
And there he is, a backhanded shot. We closed the chapter on the Book of Hurts Sunday.
How is that a backhanded shot? That's a great compliment. You're in the top 5 in the league at your position. Are you fucking
Who's
nuts?
better than him? Who do you got better than him?
The kid Tooney from Kansas City and the guy in Indianapolis who were voted first team All-Pro.
Tooney got turned into a turnstile in that divisional game
because they turned him into a tackle. They had to move him out there because the guy got injured.
I know, but Landon Dickerson, I bet you he could fucking handle it better than that dude.
Oh, really?
Give me Landon. Give me fucking Landon, baby. All right, that's it. We got them all. All right, everybody.
Alabama Worley. Give me Alabama Landon. I got you, Junior.
Do you not like Landon Dickerson? That's a guy I'll go to war with.
I do. I like him. I like him a lot. I like Cam Jurgens, too. Cam's been an upgrade to Jason Kelsey. Oh, no. He has been an upgrade. I mean, he's been better. Hey, you don't have 2,000 rushing yards and sit there and go, well, fuck, the center didn't play well this year. I don't think that works like that. I wonder, how do you think Jason Kelsey feels about this team going on this run without him?
Dude, this is the best offensive line we've ever had.
Okay. How do you think he feels about that?
I don't know, but he better get over it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, remember when I asked you the question the other day and everybody got real upset with me, and you did too, about him maybe potentially being just overrated a little bit? I'm not saying he wasn't a great player. I just think people have talked about him like he was this irreplaceable guy, and like he was kind of replaceable.
Well, I think the quarterback has struggled without him.
Well, that's true.
Setting the protections. I think he's
struggled. To be fair to Cam, they didn't ask him to do that. They wanted Jalen to take it over. So, but there's certainly been no drop off on the offensive line. In fact, it's gotten better.
It has gotten better. Xander, great stuff, brother. Feeling good, ain't you? Look at you, man.
Listen, I feel good. I think this Jaden Daniels dude better be taken seriously. I know they're taking him seriously inside the Eagles room, but this dude's a baller, man. And I ain't gonna lie. That $100 million in cap space, everything they got going on in Washington, Eagles better capitalize on this.
If they lose to a rookie quarterback,
oh my God, Sileo will never hit
on Sunday, and if they lose big on Sunday like Detroit did, I mean, everyone was saying Detroit was better than Philly, and they blew them out by 14 points on the road. And hey, in this trip, all you have to do is get in one of those nice power fucking golf carts that Jalen and Saquon gave him. All you
Did
have
you
to
see
do
the
is
woman crash it last night, bro? Oh my
I
god!
did. I did.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I did. And you get to drive down 95 and go into the building and beat the fuck out of them, and then you're in New Orleans. Man,
I could have made so I refrained from making the joke about the woman driving the golf cart. It just whoa. I mean, listen, I say this with respect. All right, I got a lot of ladies in my life. I got sisters. I got a mom. I got a girlfriend. I give them all the same shit. All right, so you can't get mad at me here. There's a wall, honey. You can't drive the golf cart through a wall. Okay.
Well, I know this. On my Hummer,
man.
On my Hummer, I've replaced my mirror 3 times, and I won't tell anybody why.
Exactly.
And I don't know why.
Exactly. So I know you're not driving into walls in your 4-wheelers like that lady was last night with the whole Ohio State team.
My mirror's $700 doing this thing, and I go, yeah, what the fuck happened to my mirror? You know.
All right, brother, I gotta run.
I was trying to get through that gate, and I'm like, fuck. Hey, Xander, great stuff, brother. I appreciate you. That's the muscles getting a little tighter in NFC Championship.
Listen, do or die, man. The stakes get higher every week. So put up or shut up. And Sileo's right that, listen, everybody got to show up. That includes quarterback. That includes coordinators. That includes everybody. So appreciate you, Big Sills.
You got it, brother. Thank you so much. Don't forget to catch Xander on Birds 365 tomorrow. Don't forget our friends at BetUS. If you're looking for a place for you to make some great bets, team up with our friends over at BetUS for the YouTube 150. YouTube 150 sign-up bonus up to $2K. Your second and third are 125%. And if you're into crypto, that's 200% with your signing bonus up to $2K. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa, the home of Michael Vick, the new Norfolk State head football coach. This is his home as well. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year, live wagering on all major games. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills, hit the like button, folks, please. We will have with us Joe Theismann at 5:30. Our friend who in 1984, 3, won the NFL's most valuable player, former Monday Night Football analyst, as well, works with the Washington Redskins on their broadcast team. I think he was at the Notre Dame-Ohio State game last night, so it might be a little late around the 5:30 number, but he's going to try to make it with us. So that'll be, again, at 5:30-ish. We'll talk to the former MVP, Joe Theismann. Is this the best coaching job in the last 25 years that the Eagles have had to get to a Super Bowl? I didn't say win it yet, because that will always land on 17. I'm talking about, has this been the best coaching job that the Eagles have had in the last, since 2004? Has this been the best coaching job? Vic, Kellen, Nick? How good a coaching job has this been? Take a look at it here. I didn't know. Oh, that's a good one, Chris. Let's do that. Let's do that one. I like that, Chris. Is this a better coaching job than 2022? Now, remember something, though, Chris. Both those coaches that were assistants went on to head coaching jobs. Jonathan Gannon became the head football coach with the Arizona Cardinals, and Shane Steichen is now currently the head football coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And by the way, that organization in Arizona is moving forward with Jonathan, and they're moving forward in Indianapolis with Shane. So they like those two guys. Those two guys went on to be head coaches. So before you say, well, this year it's better, Vic's not getting a job. Now, that's because probably his age, okay? Kellen most likely is getting a gig. Could be the Cowboys. Either him or Brian Schottenheimer, I think, are going to get that Dallas Cowboy job. Okay? Who did the better job of coaching? 2022 to get to this NFC Championship game, or this current group? I got to say this group. Here's why. I didn't know what the defense was going to look like. I really didn't. I didn't know what the defense was going to look like this year. I had no clue. There were so many unknowns. And I think what Vic has done this year has been remarkable. It's one of the best coaching jobs I've ever seen on turning around a defense on what happened a year ago. And they're playing great. And they're playing better and better and better and better and better every week. I can't remember the last time they had a bad week. Offensively, I think Kellen has done exactly what he's had to do with the limitations that the quarterback presents. Get this. The quarterback is going to benefit from Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator more than Kellen Moore is going to benefit from Hurts. Because people are going to look at Kellen going, well, he's limited. Jalen Hurts benefits more. Why? Saquon Barkley and Kellen Moore. You guys just consistently want to keep ripping OCs. He'll have 5. And every one of them you've hated but one. I mean, you guys are acting like A.J. Brown in a way. You don't like to win this way. You wanted it to be Hurts and not Barkley to be the face of the team. I think the Eagles wanted that. Well, things happen on the way to the championship. Sometimes other movie stars inside of a movie become bigger stars, and that's not the guy you wanted to be the star. But unfortunately, that's what's happened here. Nobody would ever, in a million years, suggest that Jalen Hurts is the leader of that football team when it comes to the reason they win. I'm not saying he's not a leader in the huddle as a leader of a man. That's not what I'm saying. But when it comes to who you lean on the most to win ball games, you're not leaning on him. But that's okay. He's accepted this role. And by the way, that's not a $255 million dud. I don't look at it like that. I think you guys are sitting here thinking that I'm just absolutely shitting on the guy when I made it very clear. You don't get a 2,000-yard running back without Jalen Hurts in the huddle. You don't have a 2,000-yard running back if you don't have A.J. Brown out there. If Hurts is not on the field, you don't have that prolific running attack. Okay? You don't have it. If you put Tanner McKee back there, you're not the same team. You're a lesser team. But Sills, McKee may have a better arm. They're not winning with arms right now. They're winning with their legs. That's what they're winning with. They're not winning throwing the ball. That's not how they're winning ball games. People don't like to hear it. Dude, rooting for Hurts? You're rooting for Hurts because he's 16-3, not because he's a marginal passer. That's been established. Nick Saban's even now saying it. Here, let me put this out there for you. As you move into this divisional game, do you believe that the Philadelphia Eagles have to have Jalen Hurts 100% healthy for him to be in the run game, for them to win on Sunday? Jalen Hurts is an important piece of the puzzle, no doubt about it. Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, is not going to beat you with his arm. Okay? He's not. Do you think Hurts and his running ability is a key component to this game on Sunday? Look at how many people say no, Jalen Hurts' running ability. Well, if you take that run that he had away in that Rams game, you lose. Shit, if you take that 70 yards away rushing, you lose. You lose to the Rams. No. If you don't have 71 yards rushing in that Rams game, you lose the game. You had net 65 yards passing with the 7 sacks. What's going on here? Sales, Gruden is in the NFL doghouse. Goodell's an asshole. The chances of him getting a head coaching job might be slim. Thoughts on Gruden humbling himself and taking an OC gig if more moves on? I would love to have John Gruden as the offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts. He would learn and grow so much with him, but it's going to take an organization and it's going to take an owner with gargantuan balls to do that. And Jeffrey Lurie, you'd have to give up some autonomy. By the way, can I ask a question? Was John Gruden an OC for Jeffrey Lurie at one time? Or was that under Norman Brayman? Did John Gruden, did he work for Jeffrey Lurie at one time? Yeah. He was the offensive coordinator, right? For Andy? Quarterback coach. Okay. So he was the quarterback coach. Like Andy was the quarterback coach for Homegrown in Green Bay. Okay. So it was under Ray Rhodes? It was under Ray. Okay. So he's worked for the owner. So the owner knows him. That probably helps a little. That probably helps a little bit. Okay? Probably does. Oh, I'd hire John Gruden in a second. So let's get back to one thing here, though. Bob, you answer it too. If Jalen Hurts doesn't have mobility in this game, and he doesn't have the mobility, do you think the Eagles still win? Load the box, make Hurts throw the ball, which he's been ineffective all year. Makes that game closer, though, doesn't it? If Hurts can't move, or he's limited, that makes that game closer. That makes that game closer. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. I don't even want to think about it. If this was another snow game, I'd be worried, but it doesn't look that way. So you think if Jalen doesn't have the ability to run, so let me get this right. He's hurt his knee, and in the last month, he's had a concussion, and he's hurt his knee. And you're not concerned about any of that heading into the NFC Championship game. Okay? No thanks. Jalen is a lost cause. He looked like he was running in place during his 40-yard TD run. Shit looked like a movie effects screen moving. Like you're one of those virtual golf games that Tiger's now playing. I'm giving Hurts a ton of painkillers and resting him for the bye week. Look at this guy. Let me show you how bad and stupid Pat is. If Jalen runs a couple of – wait, not you, Pat. Where's the guy here? Okay. That's Sileo's here it is. Not you, Pat. Don't worry about us, Dan. You're praying we lose anyway. Who the hell do you think you're fooling? Stevie Wonder can see through it. So this fucking dummy thinks that I want the Eagles to fucking lose so that what? People will stop watching and Eagle fans will be less engaged because I'm hoping the Eagles lose. What a moron. This guy doesn't have any brains to save himself. How in the world does that fucking help my show if the Eagles lose, asshole? How does that help my show? Not fooling anyone. What a stupid ass take. You see, the one thing you'll get from me, jackass, is honesty. Why the fuck would I want them to lose? Why? Why would I want them to lose? Dummy. Stupid. I love content. I don't give a shit about anything other than that. Content. Okay? Oh, really? Well, you are. Thanks for the algorithm, goat. Keep posting away. Fucking stupid ass. Nothing can help the show except you. Where you are. Thank you for posting. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for the algorithm. This guy's saying nothing, and he's helping the show. Some of these guys. You don't understand, dude. Every time you post something or say something, you help the show. Hey, Sue, you sound like my old lady. Give me a break. How you doing? Get them red bottoms on, Sue. Talk shit to me like that. You Jalenite. I love Sue. I do. Sue's probably, get this. Sue's probably a 600-pound dude sitting in his basement in his underwear with hair on his back and a giant Dago beard, like Vic said, and walks around in his mom's high heels. I'm just saying. Bob, I'll get to this in a minute. Here's Dirty D. What a bunch of dumbskull sills. I don't get it. Where's Bob here? There you go. Bob, repost that thing. Okay? Look at this guy. He's at it again. I just helped you out here, kid, by acknowledging you. Now you can go back with your boyfriend, and you guys can sit around on the Bravo channel watching Jimmy and Bobby. Bob for apples. Whatever, Sills. Come on, Sue. What do you mean, whatever? Sills, load the box with no threat of the backdoor boot. The Eagles' edge can crash down and get Barkley from behind. Dude, if he can't run in this ball game, okay, that makes that game closer. I think Washington, it's a huge advantage to Washington if that guy's able to not go and he can't run the ball. That makes that thing a lower scoring game. And in my opinion, and by the way, I don't think we're really going to know Hurts' health until kickoff and what he does in the ball game. I'm not going to believe a thing coming out of the NovaCare Center. I'm not going to believe anything that they say. Okay, nothing. Okay, and by the way, if I'm Washington, I am planning on him being 100%. Okay, 100%. I'm planning on him being. I am not preparing for anything less than 100% Jalen Hurts. Sills, is it safe to say that a hobble Hurts is pretty much a shorter version of New England Cam Newton? Ooh. Dude, Cam sucked up in New England when he was the COVID thing and all that, whatever it was. He just did not look good in the end. I thought he looked good in the first 3 games. But, yeah, I thought Cam was shot. Hurts ain't shot. He's just hurt. You know what I mean? Okay? Hurts plays, we lose. I don't think it's that bad. Let's take a look at the coordinators here. Let me see what I wrote down here. I want to make sure. Yeah. Let's take a look at the coordinators. Hey, numbskull, keep posting. Come on. Tell me how bad the show is. Keep posting. Do your job, kid. Do your job. All right. Let's go with the coordinators. By the way, once again, we're going to talk with our friend, Joe Theismann. Sills loves it. I do love it. I love people talking shit. All right. Let's do Vic, and we'll do Kellen. Let's do Vic first. I like what he said. Please hit the like button, guys. Guys, give me a total on the likes right now, if you can. Okay? You trust the NFC title to Kenny? No. Stop with these backup quarterbacks. If a backup quarterback goes into the NFC Championship game, you lose. 288. Guys, let's see if we can get to 350 if we can. Okay? Please? Guys, if you see a backup quarterback in the NFC title game, the Eagles are losing. No backups. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Those guys are not good enough to win Super Bowls or to win an NFC title game. I don't want any of that. Okay? Thank you, Sills. Hurts is a top 15 to 20 quarterback. Not great. Much better. Dude, top 15 to 20? Closer to 15 than he is to 20. Yeah. Closer to maybe 12. Somewhere down there. 12, 13 best quarterback out of 32 teams. He's in the middle of the pack. Doesn't turn the ball over. You got a dynamic roster. You're 16-3. Okay. Bro, people have won Super Bowls with quarterbacks like that. Just don't turn it over. Okay? Here's Vic. Then we'll talk what Kellen said. He was asked out of the gate about Nolan Smith. Kid's gotten better every week. You want to hear something else? The greatest thing ever happened is that Brandon Graham got hurt. Did you hear what I said? The best thing ever to happen is Brandon Graham got hurt. Why? I want you to answer this because I don't want you to think I'm a dick. But why do you think it's the best thing to happen? There you go, Bob. Unfortunately, Brandon Graham's injury created more opportunity and more reps, like Samuel just said. He's got more reps in practice. He's got more reps in games. This is why he's better. Graham being hurt and Huff not showing up help his evolution. Yeah, that's right. Those two guys. Huff sucking. There's a silver lining here. Huff sucking. And why did they sign Huff? They signed Huff because they didn't believe in Nolan Smith. They would never have signed Huff. They would have put Nolan automatically in the starting job. Remember, they gave Huff the starting job, and they were lying, saying that, oh, yeah, he'll be a 3-down player. And I said, he'll fucking never be a 3-down player. Remember I said that? That guy is a situational pass rush on a good team with a guy like Hassan Reddick. You put him out there on an island himself. This guy had limited reps with the Jets. And didn't you wonder why the Jets didn't even make a pursue on him? And they let him walk out the building. John McMullen was calling him one of the best pass rushers that was graded last year. He was. Why? In a limited role when you were behind in ball games. I looked at that and went, you up that guy's volume of plays, I guarantee you his production comes down. And sure enough, it did. He's not an every down guy. Now, you put him on an experienced football team and you let that guy zoom off the edge, he's probably effective for you. Not on a young team that was trying to develop young players. Everyone's got to fit in the right room here. Right? Okay? But Brandon Graham being hurt, Huff sucking, has led to Nolan Smith's emergence in this defense. The inability of Devin White to hold down the job at the mic or the inside linebacker was the reason that Zach Bond is who he is now. They had failures. James Bradbury sucking led to them drafting a corner, and he evolved. Guys who were supposed to be in there, guys who took their places, have turned out to be Pro Bowlers. Hey, Saquon Barkley was the second choice by Howie Roseman at running back. They initially offered DeAndre Swift. Well, they go for the second guy, Barkley. Saquon Barkley was never the number one priority in the offseason. He wasn't. Okay? He wasn't. Okay? He wasn't the number one. DeAndre Swift was offered a contract first per John McMullen. Look at what Brian Johnson has done with Jaden Daniels in Washington. Absolutely. He was a scapegoat. I wouldn't have had a problem bringing Brian Johnson back, but they had to blame somebody for the nuclear meltdown. They weren't going to blame the fabulous threesome of Lori, Howie, and Nick. Those are the protected dons in the Eagle organization. Everyone else is expendable. Assistant coaches and coordinators, you go through them like candy. Get this. Howie hasn't certainly gotten lucky this year. He hasn't. You built this team to be every one of you thought that Jalen Hurts was going to be a 45. I pick on Xander and I kid around with him, but he's not the only guy that thought he was going to be a 4,500-yard passer and 38 touchdowns this year. All of you did. He didn't even get $3,000. Vegas was right. Vegas had him at 3,600 yards. No, 3,200 yards and 20 touchdowns. They were right on the number. They were right on the number. Okay? I mean, Saquon Barkley was not signed to be the centerpiece. Dude, anybody who thinks that, you're trying to rewrite and trying to revise history here. Stupidity in your comments. He was asked about the three-man rotation. I think you're getting away with it now. If BG gets back, another body, that can only help. Isaiah Rodgers is the first man up at corner. Should be. Keely Ringo is nowhere near ready yet. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's somebody that I feel comfortable or confident or I trust right now to make a play if I need to. I think he's a good player, but I wouldn't get crazy over him. I think Rodgers is a better cover guy. Hurts needs to be getting more credit on how good Barkley has been this year, yardage-wise. Obviously, he cut into his TD total, though. Brandon, absolutely, he's responsible for the run game and for Saquon's season. No question about it. Jalen Hurts' element of running the football, he's sensational at running it, and it gives them the dual threat of running the football the way they run with those two guys. No question. Jalen's influence and AJ's influence on the field, you can't put a premium on it. He didn't really go into saying how great Jalen Carter was. I think Vic doesn't want to get over the top with him. I think it's right to handle him that way. Players like that, Jerome, players like that, you don't tell them how great they are. You know how you do it? You treat them in practice a certain way. Okay? You start moving them around a bit. Wow. They're moving me. The first sign that you are becoming an elite player is moving them around on the line. I don't have to tell you how great you are when I'm trying to get mismatches for you to line up over the weakest link. That's all you need to know how great you are. I don't need a coach kissing my ass or dropping the knee pads on me. I need to have him show me what my impact's going to be. You start moving me around and you start putting me like they do Michael Parsons in Dallas on the weakest guy, that's when you know you get an impact ball player. Okay? That's impact. And I think he's handled him well. I do. He even said that they're going to start building around that, moving him around a little bit, and they're going to start testing it about moving him around. Don't forget, Joe Theismann, former Washington Redskin MVP, is going to join us in a couple minutes. This is what he said also about that Rams game, is finishing. We have to finish. Can I tell you this? I think that was the only time this year that I saw Vic kind of exposed a little bit when he went to the prevent defense. LA went right down the field on him. I hate that prevent defense. They didn't want to give up the explosion play. They still gave up an explosion play to Puka Nacua on the sideline with a tremendous catch. You're going to see people making tremendous plays, okay, in these next two games. So you got to be prepared, guys, over the shoulder catches, all kinds of shit, because guys are playing out of their minds right now. To get to the Final Four, teams in the NFL, teams are playing out of their mind. They're overachieving, every one of them. You don't think the Washington Commanders are overachieving? The Buffalo Bills are overachieving? The Kansas City Chiefs are overachieving? The Eagles are overachieving? All of them are overachieving. All of them. And everybody's playing out of their mind. Coaches are coaching out of their mind. Okay? Sills, we know some coordinators aren't built to be head coaches, but are great coordinators. You think Dennis Allen is in that category? I do. I think Dennis Allen is a great mind for defense. And supposedly, I think he's probably going to be the defensive coordinator with the Bears. And if he gets that job, or if he did get that job while we're talking, that's a great hire. Dennis Allen gave Tom Brady, the smartest quarterback in the history of the game is Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, I think, had a losing record versus Dennis Allen. I mean, I don't think Tom Brady had a winning record against New Orleans his entire time in Tampa. Dennis Allen had their number. I think the year that they won the Super Bowl, they may have lost to New Orleans twice that year. New Orleans and Dennis Allen, tremendous impact. Vic and Spags, they're like that too. Yes, Dennis Allen is a really great. I think Dan Quinn in Washington is a great coordinator. I do. Absolutely. This is what he said about Jaden Daniels, Vic Fangio. Young quarterback. Guy's amazing. The only thing that really doesn't match up is his resume, or excuse me, his birth certificate. He plays like a veteran, and there's no question that he's gotten better and the way he's seeing the game. Can you imagine hearing that from Vic Fangio saying, there's no doubt he is a handful? I mean, the way he runs the ball, shit, I thought he was sensational in that Bucs game against Todd Bowles. Jalen Hurts struggles against Todd Bowles. I thought Jaden Daniels took care of Todd Bowles. Can you imagine that? So when you guys are telling me, all of you guys, even people on my network, that Vic Fangio versus a rookie, I'll take Vic. Well, Todd Bowles won a Super Bowl as a coordinator for the Bucs with Bruce Arians. And he beat him. I mean, Todd Bowles is a great coordinator. That's a Super Bowl ring. Okay? I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. Quinn's been he's been a great hire. It's insane to think the Dallas Cowboys had both guys in the building. I said this yesterday, Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn, and they moved off of Mike McCarthy, and now they're searching for a guy when they had the guy. They could have been elevating from within. But you know why they couldn't elevate from within, the Cowboys? They couldn't see through their own ego what was in front of them and how good those coaches are and how many guardrails you put on those coaches in Dallas. You think there's guardrails in Philly? Can you imagine the guardrails that are on coaches in Dallas? You can't really be the team leader of your group. You can't really formulate a game plan without the owner and the kid giving you the formula, which means the type of players that they want that formula to work with. So they handle personnel, game direction, and pretty much the game plan. And you've got to coach their players the way they want to have them coached. How do you win like that? You can't win like that. There's no chance. That's why this year, what the Eagle coaches did, they didn't lean on Hurts. Even though the organization built the team to lean on him, they went like this. No way. They leaned on Barkley. The defense, Vic Fangio benched an $18 million free agent, the highest paid free agent that you brought in to your football team, you benched, or he did. You're not doing that in places. You don't walk into a place and go like this to Howie. Hey, fuck that guy, sucks. I'm not playing him. I'll make the kid better. Howie wins with this. Howie doesn't have to really answer the horrible signing of Bryce Hall when Vic has developed the 30th pick in the draft. You know why? Because Howie looks at it like this. Well, he's on a rookie deal. The guy makes that money. It's a wash. It is. It's an economic wash when you do that. Pretty crazy. Hit the like button, guys. I appreciate it. I mean, he said it about Jay Daniels. Tremendous ball player. Joe Theismann's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. He did say we have to finish. Hey, I'll tell you something else, too. Got to hand it to Vic. Mojo and Jalix Hunt. Jalix Hunt showing up. I thought this kid was a massive project from his college background. Vic's making this guy show up. I mean, it's pretty amazing. This kid is making plays. I thought Jalix Hunt was going to be a 2-3 year project. No. Dude, he's evolving. You know, when I look up and I see him run to the ball and I see him making plays, it's pretty impressive in what he's doing in there and in this system. Vic Fangio is doing the most important. Listen, like I said at the beginning of the program, you teach during the week. You coach on Sundays. And that's been his philosophy. Okay? That's the philosophy he has. And it's an old school way of coaching. You see, people think you have to coach players all week long. It's not true. You teach players all week long. Sundays, you coach them. I'll give you a little insight here. My coach, Jimmy Johnson, never did any coaching on Sundays. And his assistants never coached us. Those guys won 3 Super Bowls and a national title. One of the greatest coaching staffs of all time I've ever been around is that coaching staff that won 4 championships. And I can promise you, all through the week, it was all teaching. Fundamentals, pursuit angles, pass rushing, steps, everything. Come Sunday or Saturday, those guys were coaching you. This is what we got to do. This is what we're going to do. They corrected mistakes during the week. All throughout the week, they would correct mistakes. That was their process. Okay? That was how they built their team. Okay? All right, guys. Hey, don't forget, Joe Theismann's going to join us. Our great friends at BetUS, guys, we've teamed up with them during this football season, and they have been absolutely sensational with us. And don't forget the YouTube 150 with our friends at BetUS. 150% of your sign-up bonus up to $2K. Your second and third are 125% with your signing bonuses up to $2K. And if you're into crypto, that is 200%. Make sure that you check out our great friends at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized services, 365 days of the year, live wagering on all major games. That's betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sil's National Football Show. Joe Theismann, former Redskin MVP, will be with us, and we'll talk with him. By the way, Eagle fans, Chip Kelly's getting a job again. Okay? He won a national championship last night. as the offensive coordinator in Columbus. I don't know if it's going to be college. I don't know if it's going to be back into pros as an OC. He's getting a job. Okay? Chip Kelly has resurrected himself. He won a national championship. So he's going to be a candidate to be a coordinator somewhere. Now, do I think his system fits in the NFL? I don't. You know why? You don't have a 100-man roster in the NFL like you do in college football. So do I think he potentially gets a premium job down in the Southeastern Conference where he can recruit? Maybe. But he's going to get an opportunity to coach again. Just won a national title. How's he not? Do you understand what he did too? He left UCLA as the head football coach to downgrade as a coordinator in Columbus, telling you that the UCLA job is not what it's cracked up to be and that he doesn't want to recruit anymore. So he became a coordinator. He's now coming to the realization, like you guys, some of you guys brought it up earlier. Some guys are just made to be coordinators, and some guys can evolve into being head coaches. I don't really think he can. And I think he benefited. It really doesn't matter if Mario Cristobal or the guy Dan Lenning, whoever's coaching at Oregon, doesn't matter when you have Phil Knight's money. Oregon's going to be a great program, whoever coaches that team. It's really jaded by the money and the ability that players want to go and play. Why? Because Nike's up there. You mean I got an inroad with Phil Knight and Nike if I go play at Oregon? Well, shit, sign me up. I'm in. The most impressive West Coast football college team right now is Oregon. No one else. Because Oregon gives you opportunity and nil. I'm not going to Southern Cal. Southern Cal can't compete with Oregon. You notice who are the favorites now to win the national title next year? Texas, great nil money. Ohio State, great nil money. Georgia, great nil money. Oregon, great nil money. I mean, Bama, decent money. And you got Notre Dame. All the same cast of characters. Penn State is gaining in nil. Okay? Penn State is gaining and doing good. Penn State's got a great fan base. That's why Penn State's fan base is over the top. It's great. They got one of the better fan bases in the country. And they travel well, and they support that program, and they never forgot Joe Paterno. I mean, if you talk to the fan base tells you what Penn State football is. If you talk to the media, they hide Penn State's legacy, and they hide who it is. It's kind of remarkably, and I hate how they do it, the media. Joe Paterno's a major part of that. Okay? Built the program. You're not Penn State without Joe Paterno. You're not Penn State without Jerry Sandusky. Unfortunately, there's collateral damage with those comments. It's what it is. Kellen Moore spoke. Go Canes. Canes are 3,000, plus 3,000 to win the national championship next year. So, yeah, Joe Paterno, man, he built that program. I believe Joe Theismann was at the game last night, the Notre Dame-Ohio State game. So we're hoping to catch up with him here. I think we're going to be able to. So, yeah, Chip Kelly's going to get an opportunity. Kellen Moore. We talked about Vic. Now Kellen Moore. He was asked the question, if Jalen Hurts is not available to go on Sunday, he came up with this line. It'd be the same formula. Whoever's in there, I'm expecting Jalen to be there, but the same formula and how we prepare will not change. Correct. It's the right thing to say. You don't change your formula and how you prepare. You're 8 quarters from the Super Bowl. You're not going to do anything different. Players like routines. Coaches like routines. And you're in a routine right now. Passing game. He said the sacks are a concern. We're taking way too many sacks. He says he's got to be a better play caller. And he did want to take back the play that I criticized. I mean, dude, your quarterback just went to the sideline. You put him in a knee brace, and you drop him back in the end zone in the snow. You might want that one back again. I mean, that was situational play calling. And as I said in the postgame show on Sunday, not thinking that's the play you want in that situation. They need to be better down on the goal line. They need to be better. He was asked the question about what the Commanders did the second game. He said this about Dan Quinn. Dan changed everything up from game one. As I told you he would. They changed everything up. And they came with different concepts. They moved players around more. It's a well-coached team. And I'm going to make a proclamation to you. Xander, maybe you remember me saying this. Remember I said this about Marcus Lattimore? I said that he wouldn't be in the best shape because he had spent 4 weeks on injured reserve, right? Well, he'll be in better shape here. He'll be in better shape for this game, which will mean that if AJ's not in his top form, I want to see that matchup in this game. If AJ's not at his top premium, okay, I want to see AJ and how he handles Lattimore. Lattimore will be in better shape. AJ's not in the best shape right now because he's banged up. And he so has said it. All right? The Commanders, they did a much better job, as Kellen said, in the second go-around. He said this also, this is Kellen, that he's got to be a better play caller. I really like that take because he's covering for the quarterback. He doesn't want all the heat. He hears the heat. He knows the heat and what's going on with the passing game. Trust me. I'll tell you this. You know why he brings that up? Because he's being interviewed for head coaching jobs. And you want the other teams that are interviewing you. See, this is a problem for me. This answer. You know why? This is an answer for the next job. I have to be a better play caller in certain situations. I guarantee you in some of those interviews, he was definitely and clearly asked, why is the passing game not where it was in the last 3 years? And he had to come to the conclusion of saying, well, we have a guy on a historic run. We have the best O-line in football. We have an efficient quarterback who makes plays when we need. And he's electric in the run game. Everything Nick Saban said. He conveyed that in those interviews. I'm sure of it. He can't indict himself in a job interview. Well, I was sucked as a play caller in the passing game. That was for the next job. Okay? That's for the next gig. Having Dallas Goedert back in the run game, he says, is enormous. And it is. You go back and watch that 22. I got to tell you something, man. You watch that 22, Dallas Goedert was getting after it. What a shame that guy can't stay healthy. He's a freaking good player, man. Dallas Goedert can play some ball. He is a really great football player. He makes plays in the pass game. Really a fine ball player. This is a great question here. This is a great question. What is Jaden Daniels' weakness? Experience. His biggest weakness is experience. I mean, the more he plays, the more experienced he's getting. It's experience in what he's doing. Okay? I mean, his ability to be able to have experience, that's the key to this thing. Daniels is a great player. Plus, again, we're talking about a young kid. But at the end of the day here, we're also talking about a kid who's getting better and better each and every single time that he steps on the field here. I told you McDaniels would be rehired in New England. Mike Vrabel was not going to not rehire him. He has 6 Super Bowls. He's seen a lot. Okay? Why wouldn't you hire him? He knows the culture. Hurts is not perfect. He'll get better. I think throwing it away a bit this year. He's in control of protection. He likely doesn't know where everyone is on every play. Brandon, that could be where he struggles in the protection this year, and it's been a new thing for him. I don't think he'll ever get better as a passer. He hasn't gotten better in 7 years in pocket presence. Nick Saban has the same attitude towards Jalen Hurts today as he does or did 7 years ago at Alabama. It's the same guy. You think Vic will cook something for Daniels? No. When you got players playing the way that they're playing right now, why would I do something completely different? Remember something. You change when you're inferior to your opponent. When you're the top dog, you dictate tempo. If I'm the knockout puncher, you got to look out for my right hand. I'm not looking out for your right hand. Dude, walk into a football game, Khalid, and have the ability to be the top dog. I'm not fucking changing. You change. I'm making you change. Because you haven't proven to me you could stop me. Why in the world would I change? I've knocked out every guy I've been in the ring with. And you want me to start boxing? I'm going to throw haymakers. Throwing haymakers got me to the NFC title game. Why in the world would I want to go out and start sparring with somebody? No, thank you. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And I don't think you can take it for 4 quarters. We're going to find out. That would be my mentality. Okay? That would be how I would see it. I don't think Joe's gotten back from the game. So hopefully we're able to catch up with him potentially tomorrow. We may get a couple minutes with him. I don't know how this is going to go. I think we got a couple minutes with him last time. It was late. So we may end up taking one more quick time out here to see if we can, and then we'll run it through the tape if he can be on here. So I got to get one more break in here. So we'll do this here in a couple minutes. If we don't get him in here, we'll take a short time out. and we'll see if we can get Joe in here. If not, we'll do them tomorrow. We've also got Merrill Reese that will jump aboard with us. Yeah, we're a couple likes away from 350. Please, guys, hit that like button. Hurts will not get better. He's reached his limit. I don't think he's reached his limit on how he's going to approach the game, but I think he is who he is as a passer. I've said this from day one. There's not a high ceiling with him in passing. There was never a high ceiling. No matter how many talented people you put around him, it didn't matter. And it doesn't matter the coordinator. It doesn't matter. Hey, by the way, I mean, Patrick Mahomes had Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy's not even working. And they have dropped off. And, well, maybe they dropped off a little since they had Nagy in there. But they've won 2 Super Bowls in a row. So I don't know. I hope he keeps doing enough and allowing our defense and running back to win these last 2 games. Thomas, don't turn the ball over. Throw those slants. Complete 10 passes that are essential in the pass game. And that's the remedy to win this thing. Here, let me just put it to you this way. I think your recipe to win the Super Bowl is this. Hurts has 10 to 14 completions. He throws for 138 yards, 140 yards, 2 TDs, 47 yards rushing, another TD. Dude, you get 21 points out of the kid? Fuck, what are you looking for? And you get 150, 160 yards from Barkley these last 2 games? You're going to run through the tape, I think. Then it's going to come down to the defense. And if the defense can stop Mahomes or Allen. You know, Jaden Daniels. Think about the 3 quarterbacks or the 2 quarterbacks or the 3 quarterbacks potentially you're going to have to go through. You're either going to go through Allen or Mahomes, and you have to go through Daniels. Those are some pretty good electric players. Really good football players. Okay? First thing Jalen is doing after the Super Bowl is eating some crayfish down in NOLA. Some great food down there, man. There's a place down there called Napoleon's. It's right off Bourbon Street, and it's really a great place. I've eaten there a couple times. I've gone to a couple Super Bowls in New Orleans. I think some of my badges, if I'm not mistaken, I think some of my Super Bowl badges, I think one of them is New Orleans. I can't remember. I think it was Super Bowl 50 in New Orleans. This is Super Bowl 50, right? I think Super Bowl 50 may have been in New Orleans. If I'm not mistaken. I think I got another Super Bowl one here. Yeah, I got another Super Bowl one somewhere. I got a bunch of them. Yeah, here's another one. Now, here's Super Bowl 50. This may have been in New Orleans. I think I've been to like 15 Super Bowls. But I've been about 15 of them. That's Super Bowl 51. Okay. Yeah, that was really fantastic. All right. I'm going to take a time out here. Hopefully we get Joe at the end here. Hey, guys, our good friends at BetUS, make sure you team up with our friends at BetUS for the YouTube 150. The YouTube 150 gives you an opportunity to join our business partners. And again, for sign-up bonuses up to $2K. Your second and third are 125%. If you're into crypto, that is 200%. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year, like wagering on all major games. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
It's Joe's National Football Show. Please hit the like button here. We're efforting our friend, Joe Theismann. So he was traveling back from the national championship game last night with Notre Dame and Ohio State. So we may get a couple minutes with him, or we may have to reschedule. That'll be for tomorrow. Please hit the like button. We hope to get him on just for a couple minutes here. NFC Championship game tickets. Somebody tell me where these are in the stadium. So this is section 109, row 31. 2 seats are going for $1,100 for the pair. Is that in the nosebleed? $1,100 for the 2 tickets, so about $550 for both those tickets for the 109 section in row 31. Is that up there in the boonies? Because that's a pretty good price. I'd pay that to go to that NFC title game. There's not really a bad seat in the house. Okay. There's not really a bad seat there. So, yeah, I'm good with that. $550 for an NFC championship game. I'm pretty good with that there. Jaden Daniels. One more thing. How to stop him. I got to ask this question on how to stop him. You can't let this kid get both parts of his game going. You can't. You can't let him get running and break contain. So do you keep a spy in on him without having Nakobe Dean in the middle of the game? I think that's going to be more of an issue in this game than it was for the last game with Matthew Stafford. Stafford doesn't run. He's not looking to get out in the perimeter to make plays and extend plays. You saw what happened when he did. He never took off again after they hit him. By the way, I think that was an essential part of it. When they busted his ass up for taking off running, he never took off again running. He never did it again. He went over to the sidelines, and they were nursing the guy the entire rest of the ball game. They tenderized his ass up. They never went again, and he never went to try to extend the plays. Never went there with it. So this kid's going to do this. And to me, the key is going to be got to get him in 3rd and long. You can't let this kid sit here. By the way, hit the like button. We're trying to get to 350. We're about 20 some odd shy of 350 likes, guys. I appreciate you guys a lot. You can't let him have 3rd and short and be in 3rd and 3 the whole game. He'll beat you. They'll beat you with that. By the way, their running attack is starting to come alive. Robinson, Daniels, the pass catchers. How healthy is Q in the game? That also is going to be a factor. Getting pressure. I heard Xander say something about getting home. I think you still got to get pressure. You have that high volume of pressure on this kid. You've got to keep him contained. This guy's more dangerous in the open space. I don't want him in open space. You get him in open space like that, it's a problem. Can't let him get out there. Okay? Look, like I said, if you hold that football team, the Commanders, if you hold them to under 350 yards in total offense, and you relatively keep it down as a low-scoring ball game, you're going to win this game handily, I think. Now, because of Hurts being injured, we're not going to know until the game. I'm starting to think this game is going to be under 45 points. Somewhere in that range, 43 to 45 points. I'd be shocked if it's more. Now, some are going to go like this. Washington put up a shitload of points against Detroit. I think Detroit's defense, I kept saying it the last couple weeks, I think their defense had a lot of leakage to it, especially in the run game. And I think that's what Washington exposed. Play action killed them. Go back and watch that game, and it'll give you a better sense of how Washington attacked that defense. The defense in Philly is way different. They're faster. I don't really think Detroit's defense is that fast. And I think their injuries finally caught up with them. And what you love about Daniels is not like a normal rookie, like Vic says. He's looking downfield all the time. And Terry McLaurin has really started to come alive. I think they're getting great catching out of 2s and 3s. The tight ends, as Xander said, those guys are pretty good ball players. And Detroit's defense, they were able to take advantage of it. Same way, you know what? To me, it looked like Washington took the Chicago Bears Thanksgiving Day offensive game plan and implemented it just with a better player in Jaden Daniels. Because Chicago, if it wasn't for Matt Nagy screwing that thing up, they should have won that ball game. And I thought they pushed Detroit around in that game on Thanksgiving Day. So if you go back and you watch that game, which I have, I mean, they were weak at the corner position, and they were weak up front. And they were able to exploit that. They were getting gash plays. And that's what created 3rd and short, and that's what created an opportunity for them to go down the field, which they did. Yes, Khalid's right. The run defense is not the best thing right now. It has gotten better, but they were down for the year, down in the 20s. Low 20s, actually, 29. They're great in pass defense. But see, that's a misleading number. When you're getting killed against the run, you're not really throwing the ball against them. So that could be a misleading number there a little bit. Total defense, they're 13th, which is not horrible. They're hanging out in the top 10. They got like a top 10 defense, especially over the last 2 months, where they've done some really nice things here. Again, where they're going to win this game's going to come down between the offense, which they're very good, versus the Eagle defense. Like I said, they're number 7 in total offense. The Eagles are number 1 in total defense. The Commanders they're 4th right now in passing in the postseason. The Eagles are 1st. Rushing, they're 3rd in the NFL. The Eagles are 10th. Scoring, they put up 28-5. They're 5th in the league in scoring offense. The Eagles are 2nd in scoring defense. This is where the game's going to be won, right here. Red zone, they're 5th. Eagles are 5th in defense in red zone. They're 6th and 3rd down. The Eagles are 3rd. Here's where the game will be won and lost. Is going to be with the offense and what they can do on 3rd. They have to win. I'm talking about Washington. They have to win 1st and 2nd down for them to win this game. And that's going to come down, a lot of it to do with the health of Jalen Hurts. If Hurts can't help out in the run game, this game's going to be a 3-point ball game. And I don't think right now, if I'm sitting here on a Tuesday, I don't believe that this game's going to be a high-scoring game. Because I think both teams, both defenses, especially with the linebacking core that Washington has, I think they're going to be able to keep them at bay. Okay? Yes, Eagles have the advantage here, but you're not the number 1 defense right now in the league. Why? You don't have Dean in there. And you've got a banged-up Q. You don't have a healthy personnel set. How can you be the number 1 defense or call yourself that when you've lost a major component and you've lost 120 tackles? Okay? You lose 120 tackles and you still call yourself the number 1 defense in the league? I'm not thinking that's right. All right, guys. You guys were awesome today. I apologize about Joe. Joe was traveling back from Atlanta. Probably got hung up a little bit, so we'll get him on tomorrow. Great stuff as always. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. We will see you tomorrow, 2 to 6. Thank you, Big Joe. Thank you, Xander. Getting closer to the NFC Championship game. Absolutely awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.